on 710, we're taking off with 9 hours of live and local LA Sports Talk.
The home of the 9-hour LA Sports Mega Block.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
We call it the LAX, LA Sports Mega Block. Of course, powered every day by LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, where change arrives daily. Let's get to it. Time to get in the air. We're taking off, LA.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Travis and Sliwa has clearance right now.
Yeah, just in the nick of time. I beat the buzzer, Slee. I'm on the Zoom. I'm ready to go. How you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling good, buddy. Yeah, I thought I was by myself. I was like, listen, if I can't see him, I don't know. A lot of times I like looking into your eyes.
I can
tell. I'm in the studio or I'm out of the studio. I like staring into your eyes.
Good. Okay, so with that in mind, I got a question for you.
Sure.
How do my eyes look? Do I get a little twinkle? Do I have a sparkle? Do I have a little bit of that extra little something today?
Nope, exactly the same.
It's too bad because I feel like I got something.
What happened?
I went to bed at 9 o'clock, and it was glorious. Absolutely 100% glorious. See, I was out way past my bedtime on Tuesday. Like I burned the candle at both ends. I didn't even get home till like 10 o'clock on Tuesday night, which is not what I do. So yesterday got off to a bad start. You kind of left me hanging on the sandwiches. And then there was a bunch of food that came through, which I overindulged in. Then I got home and I did not.
By the way, you're very aggressive when you're not happy with your food.
I know I am. I know. I don't. Yeah. You're not wrong.
I can't stop. Like, all right, well, why are you mad at me? I didn't give you the food.
Took on through the rest of the day. It's exactly how it went. I couldn't stop. So I had a terrible day eating. I get home and it was warm. I'm like, no, I'm not going anywhere. So I didn't exercise. It was I was completely just shot for the day. And then I'm like, you know what? It's about 8:50. I looked at Susan. I said, yeah, I'm done. See ya. Deuces. And I walked upstairs and went to sleep. And now, I'm not going to lie, I'm ready. I'm feeling good.
I could see you halfway up the stairs taking a quick breather. Just stopping for a second, Putting both hands on your hips, just saying, this is a lot higher than I thought.
Feeling good. Feeling good. Got rested. How are you, Em? Roars.
I'm feeling great. I saw Twisters last night.
Oh.
Had a fun time.
Yeah.
Had a good experience. A solid 3 stars out of 5.
Okay.
A good TNT movie.
Okay.
Had a great
3 stars out of 5. Okay.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, as someone who's seen Twisters in a theater, that's me.
Before me.
Movie guy. Right
makes 3 of us. That makes 3 of us.
That's right. Jorge saw it too. Was there any point in that film that you did not know what was going to happen in the next scene?
You knew exactly what was going to happen. But I think, honestly, we need more movies like that.
Yeah.
We need more movies that are just a turn it on, let it go, occasionally look up, oh, hey, there's Twisters.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just, it was kind of why I go to the movies. I want to just turn off and watch cool stuff go by.
It'll be on the rewatchables in about 10 years, and Bill Simmons will talk about it for about 3 hours, and that's going to be the whole thing.
One of my favorite parts is the truck, the way it can just
the augers that dig into the thing.
That was also one of my biggest pet peeves. That is clay. That's red clay in Oklahoma. That is very loose. That's gonna come up, and again, it's
apparently not, Emily. It's in a movie.
Well, no, she's in distress later on. It's like Chekhov's gun. It's like Chekhov's twisty things into the ground. It's going to come up at one point.
You can't introduce the truck drills in Act 1 if they don't reappear in Act 3, right?
Exactly.
That's how that goes.
But rushing to the airport, gotta get the girl at the end scene again. It's not a spoiler because going into Twisters, you know what's going to happen.
No, it feels like something that came out of AI. Really cool special effects.
Yep.
Pretty people.
Yep.
Doing exciting explosions and
questionable accents. But
yeah. I mean, you kind of ruined that for me. I had that for when you are a far more discerning viewer than I am. Slee. The movie is set in Oklahoma. Okay,
correct.
Tornado Alley.
I got to go see it. I think I'm in to see it because I saw the first one. I was in on the first one.
Yeah.
But it's almost no connectivity to the first one.
And Glenn Powell is a Texan by birth, I want to say.
Yes, but you can kind of let...
Glenn Powell feels like he belongs in that environment.
Correct.
That he is of that environment. The female lead and the other male lead, not so much.
Not so much.
There are 3 leads. Daisy Edgar-Jones is... Irish, British. So she has in her normal life a very strong accent, has a accent that goes in and out throughout the entire movie. And then Anthony Ramos is the second male lead, and he is, I believe, Puerto Rican from New York, and we're expected to believe that he still has Puerto Rican accent in Oklahoma, and that never got explained. Why couldn't Daisy Edgar-Jones just be from, like, London and love...
Yeah, and like tornadoes.
Exactly,
she
like the other
wanted
guy in the movie. Anyway, I'm just like, it
yeah, you got to get no, those got to be on point. If those aren't if somebody else has got a heavy accent from the area, you can't have two other people that have, it feels like they're from a different continent.
Yeah.
How many different things on? Buenos dias, Jorge. How are you? We didn't do that.
I want to pick later.
Yeah, you came in a little hot today.
And it's
And I love it because I introduced it to you yesterday, and you were like, "Oh no, it's kind of like what you do to me sometimes." You'll introduce something to me, I'm like, "Oh, whatever." And then I look into it later, I'm like, "Wait, I actually got really excited about this."
That is a very. I think we all do that, where we're excited, angry about. We're passionate about something, whether positively or negatively, and you tell someone else and they go, "Oh yeah, okay, cool." And they're like, they do not match your level of enthusiasm for something. And then a day or two goes by and they come back and go, "Hey, what about that thing that happened 2 days?" You're like, "Dude, I was trying to tell you 2 days ago. Why are you just now getting on board? Why are you just this morning getting on board?"
I just saw it, and I saw the details of it and how everything went down. And I was like, "Oh, that's what she meant."
Yeah, sneak peek though for Hey Did You See? So Jorge has good Hey Did You See?
Yeah. What else is going on, Slee?
I actually watched a soccer match yesterday.
Between?
A soccer game,
Paris?
Carson.
Oh,
you went to a game?
Oh, you went to the Arsenal game?
Went to the Bournemouth game, actually.
Wasn't it Arsenal-Bournemouth?
Yeah, but Bournemouth is why I went.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Bournemouth was my reason. No, listen to how kind of random this is.
That's
but
how much time was left when you decided to leave?
Oh, no, that's part of the story. That's part of the story.
I'm an Arsenal fan. You should have told me about this.
Okay, so here's what happened. I got some family from Bournemouth, and as random as that is, I have family from Bournemouth.
Shout out Bournemouth.
Help me out. Is that a city in the UK? Where is that? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, city in the UK.
Okay.
So he's he's originally from Bournemouth. He was going to drive up from San Diego. He told me about this. He told me about a week ago, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. I think I'm going to make it. Finally, I was like, all right, you know what? Let me see if I can try to make this work. So the game was in Carson. It didn't start till like 7:30, something like that. We get there, let's say, by 7. At that point, I could be on the soccer field. No one would even tell the difference. Really just wasn't that many people there. It's
really?
Bournemouth versus Arsenal.
Like
Carson,
the real teams?
Most of the real teams.
Yeah, I think they're definitely some of the big boys that aren't playing.
Okay.
Like Bukayo Saka, I don't believe was there.
Yeah, you're 100% right. So, and basically, it's probably 80%. It actually ended up doing okay. I mean, as far as the amount of people that were there, let's say they fill up half of Carson. Let's just use that as an example.
What is that, 5,000 people? 10,000?
I'd say 6,000 to 7,000 people. It's a lot bigger, but I would say, let's say there's 7,000 to 8,000 people, something like that.
Okay.
So
the capacity is 27,000 people, so probably about 10,000 people are there.
10 at the top is there, probably less than that. So get out there, and I mean, you want to talk about having zero skin in the game. He's like, all right, we're going to sit next to some Bournemouth people. I'm like, all right, go ahead and find them. So we found a couple of them.
Was it GA? Was it just GA? You could sit anywhere?
It wasn't, but I don't think anybody was coming to check your seats.
Oh, you weren't in Colorado. That's right.
I wasn't at a Rockies game
okay.
where I'm at a whole section by myself and they're asking me to move. So anyway, so get to the game, and it's Arsenal scores first, and then I'm already prepping this guy. I'm like, listen, just a heads up, I'm probably out by 60. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, 60 minutes into the game, I'm probably going to be taking off. That's usually my time where I start walking to the parking lot by myself.
Classic. Just don't see the end of game.
What? Okay, what was it? A competitive game? What was the score at the 60th minute?
It was 1-0. By the way, ESPN Plus. Okay. And about 65 minutes in, I'm like, that should do it. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Trav, the way you told Susan yesterday, peace, you took off and you went to bed at 8:45, that was basically me yesterday leaving the game. And the moment I got to my car, I'm not kidding, right when I got to my car, and I don't think this is going to be too much of a surprise or a shock. What happened? What do you think happened the moment I got to my car?
Somebody scored.
Bournemouth scored. Yeah. But here's I want to be like, I want to have some emotion towards.
Was there even a half a second in your brain where you're like, should I go back in and watch the end of this now that it's tied? Or you're like, no, I'm on my way home.
No, not at all. Not at all. So he was telling me something which is odd. I guess they were going to go to penalty kicks either way. Like they're going to play penalty kicks. So even if the score was 2-0 or it was 2-1 or whatever the case is, I guess because they're in the States, they're just going to play penalty kicks.
Okay.
Which is very odd. But
I was going to say, Jorge, help me out. Is that weird?
Exhibition game?
It's a friendly match. It's exhibition. Anything goes. They can decide as long as both teams are cool with it.
3-point contest at the end of regulation.
Half field shots. Yeah.
Which, by the way, shows you just how important the game was. Right?
Yeah, it's friendly. It's an exhibition.
They're going to do penalty kicks at the end. So anyway, tied 1-1. They went to penalty kicks, and then Arsenal ended up winning. By that time, I was already 80% down to San Diego.
It's like going to a summer league game. It's like, but with real people playing, kind of. It's like it's not like it's has any impact on either of these teams throughout the rest of the season. But my two best friends.
Arsenal is now kicked out of the Premier League.
They were relegated.
I believe Graham was there. Graham was also there.
My best friends who are huge Arsenal fans, they have a 4-day bender of Arsenal content coming their way. They're going to 2 different podcast tapings for Arsenal podcasts and going to see. They went to see the game last night. They're going to see the game on Saturday, which is Arsenal Manchester United at SoFi Stadium. That will be pretty full.
Will that be a full house?
Yeah, that'll be nearly full.
Will the real players be playing?
No, same squad that is here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Odegaard might play. There's some players that you might play, but it's not going to be every single starter from the regular season. But, still got the colors against each other, got the red on red or whatever. But
this is the part that loses me. And knowing virtually nothing about any soccer team other than my Mexican national team, which I'm a proud supporter of.
That's right, because Javier Aguirre is the coach.
That's
Rafa
right.
Marquez is the assistant.
That's right, because Aguirre is out or in?
He's in.
He's in. That's
Lozano
right.
is out.
That's
Lozano's out. Jimmy.
Would this not be like sending the Yankees and Dodgers over to play in the UK, but Ohtani and Judge don't show up?
Yep.
Yeah.
But
the game doesn't count to anything.
But that's what I mean. Like, then it's not the Yankees and the Dodgers. Like, I could put on a Dodger jersey and go over there. It doesn't make me the Dodgers.
Yeah, my team, we wear the Arsenal jerseys. We're not Arsenal.
Right. I don't know.
But
that
I think
feels
it's
weird
kind of like.
But is Rojas there?
They're going to need him. He's too important now.
Rojas is there. Now we're talking.
I do believe one of the owners of Bournemouth was talking about this, that they don't really want to play in the United States as much anymore at all because, it's a lot of travel, doesn't mean anything to the score, but also you're just going to keep it in England, keep it pure and have the English team play English teams
It's a business
in England.
move, It's a...
Yeah.
I get
it. If there were games, I'll give them this, and I know there's, not every franchise is created equal, but there have been games before I've gone to the Rose Bowl where it was Man U versus, I think Man U one year played the Galaxy.
but that was like an all-star kind of thing.
Okay, you're right.
It was an all-star game.
But whatever it was, there are definitely – I think you got to just find the teams that we think is going to have interest in the States. If it's like the Chelsea, the Liverpools, the Arsenals.
They're the ones that come. Those are the ones that come.
These teams will draw.
Yeah.
But they're not the real guys.
Travis. If they were the real guys, it wouldn't matter to you either way.
No, it wouldn't. But I'm talking more theoretical here. Like if we sent these teams to London to play in the NFL, but
it's like a preseason game in London.
That's my point. Why do I care about that?
Because you don't ever get to see them ever.
But if you're gonna, but they're not the right guys.
And you know what?
Like if Patrick Mahomes is over there and it's not him and Chase Daniels, the court, I'm like, no, this sucks.
But you see Mikel Arteta, you see the managers of the team.
I want the real guys.
But you know what? Those tickets sell, man.
I'm not saying, look, obviously they're doing it for a reason. Obviously it's good, but if the
That's
goal
a fair
is
point.
to,
If I'm not able to see the best of the best.
Yeah, it's just, I can see JV sports other places. I don't have to have it fly halfway across the world to put it in my backyard.
But if you never have the chance to see them, because like my friends, they're going to England and Europe next month, and they paid a lot of money for a VIP experience at the game because you can't get tickets. If you're an American, you can't just buy tickets to Premier League games. You have to kind of go through these other ways of getting it. You have to be kind of like a supporter group. You have to be English, like all this stuff. It's very hard to get tickets if you're an American to go to see an American game, even if you travel to England to go see them. Otherwise, you have to pay a bunch of money. So for people like that, people like my friends, it matters to them to at least see somebody that they know.
Most of the real Dodgers were on the field last night, including one on the mound. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
And coming up around 11:30 this morning, it is time for Factor Cap with producer Emily, presented by our new partner here on the Travis and Sliwa Show, the law offices of Joseph S. Normand.
If you've been in an accident, me and my team are dedicated to help you achieve the maximum compensation you deserve. Plus, no fees until you get paid.
That's right, homeboy. Factor Cap coming up in minutes on the Travis and Sliwa Show on 710 ESPN.
For ESPN LA contest rules, go to ESPNLA.com and click the contest button.
Hey guys, John Ireland here. To build a winning team, you have to have the right people doing what they do best. If you're in a position to hire for your business, listen closely, because we have the ultimate teammate, ZipRecruiter. And you can try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. Hiring the right candidate is hard. ZipRecruiter uses powerful matching technology to quickly find and send you the most qualified people. So it makes finding and hiring your next superstar much easier. This is why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. So be like the 3.8 million businesses who have come to ZipRecruiter and sped up their hiring process. Try ZipRecruiter today for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. One more time, ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
Introducing Pizza Hut's new tavern-style pizza. Go thinner, go crispier, go bolder, and get the new tavern-style pizza only from Pizza Hut. Get a medium, 1-topping tavern for just $12. Order now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com.
Hi, I'm Garth Blumenthal, and I started Unstoppable Automotive Group by committing to deliver a world-class guest experience. We represent Mercedes-Benz, Audi, Land Rover, Jaguar, Volvo, and Polestar. And with our great selection and favorable lease and financing rates, we want to say yes to every offer. Plus, we'll give you top dollar for your trade-in. Visit unstoppablegroup.com or stop on in and say hello.
Unstoppable Automotive Group, building relationships one guest at a time.
Hey, it's Travis.
And Slee. By now you have heard about our good friends at the law office of Joseph S. Normand.
When my son Bobby was in an accident, we called Joe and he hit it out of the park. That's why I trust Joe.
No insurance company is ever on your side. Anything you say to them can and will be used against you. Joe and his team will treat you like family, get you the medical attention you need, and the max compensation you deserve.
Call 213-747-2000. That's 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com.
The law office of Joseph S. Normand.
If you're looking for a new couch, you could cut down on expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Because you know you've had this couch for too long. Sure, you've had good times together, but a ripped-up cushion is not a fond memory. It's a sign. Notice how other people have couches with 2 armrests? Now that's living, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renters and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new couch. Please, it's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
NFL Plus Premium is your ticket to the NFL offseason.
With the first pick in the NFL Draft.
Catch all your favorite offseason coverage and stream exclusive content from the NFL Draft, training camp, free agency, and more. Relive the biggest plays from the season with full and condensed game replays.
He's in! Touchdown!
Plus, stay connected with 24/7 football news and coverage on NFL Network. Sign up today at plus.nfl.com. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the Mid-Morning Spectacular live from LA Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
So Sedano and Cap, or actually I should say Cap and DeMarco Farr, live from Rams training camp coming up later today. We will be out there tomorrow live from Rams training camp. Slee, you have the day off. I believe Kirk M.
Yeah, Kirk will be with us.
I got traded for the pregame show.
Kirk and I will be from LMU. Do you know, if we're scheduled to talk to Kevin Demoff or any of the Ram brass tomorrow?
I'm not aware of the run schedule for our guests that kind of give us that the day of.
If you could just get a few minutes with me and Kevin Demoff, I would like to lodge complaint that they left UCI. Slee, that was one of the few home games that I would get every single year, so that they moved it to LMU was moderately inconvenient for me. So I would like to lodge a formal complaint.
Come on.
If Stafford does come on, Get me on my cell. Got a couple questions for him as well.
Yeah.
His holdout was ugly.
Speaking of what we talked about last segment, Arsenal and stuff. So Mikel Arteta and Martin Odegaard, two actual people. So Mikel Arteta,
the real
who's
guys,
the manager, and Odegaard, who's a player with Arsenal, is going to be a part of some Rams things tomorrow at about 4 p.m. So, you might see some actual real guys.
Can they make field goals? Because they had trouble with that last year. I know they drafted a guy, but they needed somebody to make some field goals along the way.
Arsenal and the Rams have a special relationship because of Kroenke.
Football meets football.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. So yesterday, Dodger Stadium.
That's right. Kroenke owns another team that's successful.
He owns all the teams.
Yeah.
He owns all the teams. And they're all pretty good.
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah, they're somewhere between the champ and pretty good. Like pretty good, you're barely pulling your weight.
Yeah,
in the
I'd say
universe.
that's pretty good ownership
Arsenal's,
right there.
I think, the only one that hasn't won
Yeah,
the chip. Yeah,
but
which
they're
again,
good,
they
right?
lost by like a point this past season. Yeah.
Right. They're
He also built a $6 billion stadium with his own funding. Other than all that,
I got it.
I'm not sure what that owner is doing.
Hey, we're going to build a stadium. Yeah, we don't do public funding. Yeah, that's fine. I got it. Watch this. It's pretty
Just
baller.
Pave a driveway for me here or there.
That's
all he's asking for.
Not a bad deal. Kershaw later today at Dodger Stadium making his 2024 debut. We'll talk about that in just one second. Tyler Glasnow returned to the Dodger lineup last night after missing a couple of weeks. He was on the IL, which was described, diagnosed, qualified, I don't know what we want to call it, as back tightness. Sure. Maybe he had back tightness. Maybe it was a little break. Maybe it was, I don't know. We'll call it back tightness since they're calling it back tightness. Yesterday, Al, you and I were talking about what do we want to see? Is that not kind of exactly what we thought we might get? Not particularly sharp, 4 walks, still pretty good. Only gave up a handful of hits and not a ton of runs, but just kind of something that was not his full best performance, but certainly a healthy performance and something to build on.
I think 2 things you were hoping for, and one of the things, he's coming off a couple of bad starts, so naturally you're going to look at that and say, okay, what's going on with Glasnow? This is the ace. What do you mean he gave up 10 runs over his last 2 starts? That's very uncharacteristic of Tyler Glasnow. But I think more importantly than how he was going to do, you said this a couple times, for Glasnow specifically, not for some of these other players, not some of these other pitchers, is he walking away from that game saying, I feel good?
Yeah.
Now, I forget the stuff. Forget how many strikeouts, forget how many balls, forget all that stuff. Is he feeling good? And I think that was the most important thing no matter what he did. So, yes, it looks like he was feeling good. And then I think then you could look at, all right, his stuff's going to get a little bit better. He only gave up a couple of runs. 4 walks is not usually a Tyler Glasnow type of performance. But he walked away healthy, and he also had a much better start than he did his previous couple other stints.
Yeah, the walks are the one thing that you're like, okay, that's not great because that's a recipe for disaster typically. It wasn't a disaster yesterday, but I think that comes with just the fine-tuning of getting back on the mound and pitching a little bit more. I think that probably takes care of itself. It's funny, like Glasnow, I was aware of him prior to his time with the Dodgers because, when he pitches, he's really good. He just had a whole bunch of health issues along the way. But now that I get to see him a lot, every time I watch him, I like him a little bit more. He had a great moment yesterday in the first inning when he threw 2 outs in the inning, 2 strikes on the hitter, and he throws I think it was a curveball or whatever. He kind of spikes it, but the hitter clearly goes, right? Clearly tries to check his swing. Looked like he did not succeed in doing that.
Yeah.
And he starts walking off the field like, I got the 3rd out, strikeout. And the home plate umpire appeals to third base. The third base umpire says, safe, no swing. Yep. And Glasnow kind of, as he's headed towards the Dodger third base dugout, kind of does a 180 to head back to the mound, looks at the third base umpire, and clear as a bell, you can read his lips, and it's like, what the blank? And not like in a rage, but like,
yeah.
What's the matter with you? Like, how could you not do that? And then on the very next pitch, the guy basically didn't take the bat off the shoulder, and the home plate umpire rung him up on a check swing. It was terrific because you could tell it was such a bad call, and he reacted to it in the most perfect way you can. Like, You know you blew it. I know you blew it. I'm not going to make a big scene out of this, but I'm going to need one from you moving forward. He got it on the very next pitch. Bob Melvin goes nuts in the dugout and starts blanking the home plate umpire. It was a tremendous sequence that made me really dig Glasnow.
Okay, you said something, and I don't know this. I don't know if there's a lot of Dodger fans that are the exact same way as you. I didn't know anything about Glasnow. You know, I know the name, but him coming to the Dodgers – I didn't have this, oh my gosh, I know how good he is, or I know how good he's been, but I didn't know his personality. He looks like a crazy madman a lot of these times that he's pitching. Like he gives off a certain
He's passionate. He's fired up.
He gives off a certain feeling.
Yeah,
and I've heard him in interviews when he first came to the Dodgers, listened to him on a couple different podcasts. He sounds nothing.
He's super thoughtful.
Big time,
yeah.
and like very calm and
yeah.
cool and collected, and then all of a sudden you give him the ball in the mound. But anyway, I guess the most important thing for the Dodgers is the Glasnow. There's no margin for error. Like he's got to be not only healthy but great. Like it's the other pitchers we're supposed to be talking about. So last night, I think for Dodger fans, I think that's a good step one.
The Dodgers are pitching a lot of guys that are not going to be a part of what they're doing in October. Glasnow is the one guy that is going to be a part. Of course he is. You know, if he's healthy and capable, you're right. He's going to get the ball in that opening playoff game. I think what happens later today, Dodgers play a getaway day game against the Giants today. Clayton Kershaw is going to pitch for the first time this season. Clayton Kershaw is going to pitch for the first time since we saw him in the playoffs just get absolutely demolished by the Diamondbacks, and it was
Outman screwed him.
It was a bad day. And there was at least a moment where, like, is this going to be the last we're ever going to see of him? That was at least a possibility. Thankfully, that's not true. We're going to see him today. I think his actual, not the performance, not the box score. Like, I don't care how many guys he strikes out or walks or hits or runs to a point. What does it look like? With Glasnow yesterday, what did it look like? That looked like an ace. That looked like an ace that hadn't pitched in a few weeks. Velocity was good. Movement was good. The intensity was good. Like, that looked like a guy who was a little bit rusty, and that's about it. I think with Kershaw, it's a totally different animal. We know that his pitching acumen is an A+. We know that his competitive nature is an A+. The question is whether his arm is still of big league quality, big league capability. Can he get out major league hitters throwing in the high 80s, low 90s? I think what it looks like for him today, Slee, is super, super important / interesting, much more so than a guy typically coming off of an injury and missing a great deal of time.
In a 162-game grind, there's plenty of games you don't have to pay attention to. It's just there's 162 games. This is one of the few ones where I think there's a lot of interest towards this game. And the fact that it is Clayton Kershaw, the fact that over the last couple of weeks, we were looking at some different lists that came out. Top 25 players over the last 25 years. ESPN had listed Kershaw's in a lot of these names or on a lot of these lists. Like we know what
near
Kershaw's,
the top of them.
Near the top of them.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes there's some question marks there. It's like, oh, wow, I didn't know he was that high. But nonetheless, we all know Kershaw's resume. This stage of his career for a team that is desperate to win a World Series in a 162-game set. Clayton Kershaw is making his first start on July 25th.
Mm-hmm.
Clayton Kershaw, we were reading some of his quotes of just where he was with his velocity. Yeah, that doesn't sound like, a great thing.
And
However,
it dropped off a cliff the later into a game you got.
Okay, and I guess, Chad, between Kershaw, Bobby Miller, Walker Buehler, those are three names that, certainly if I'd have told you a year ago, or I know Buehler's been out for a while and he's just coming back, but of those three names, you need one of these guys to work. I don't know if it's going to be Kershaw. I don't know if it's going to be Bob Miller. I don't know if it's going to be Walker Buehler. I don't know if all three of these guys are not going to be, able to be postseason contributors, but we'll get our first shot to see Kershaw.
Yeah, we can get into that coming up in just a little bit. I think what does it look? What does the velo look like? What does the bite on the pitches look like? What do you get? A lot of swing and misses. I think that's a really big deal today. If it's just, hey, he's rusty, he's not sharp, but the stuff looks good.
That's good.
That's great news.
Yeah.
If he's not really running it up there. If there's a lot of hard contact, it's not just because it's in the middle of the plate and he's missing spots, but because guys just aren't missing it, then I think what you just mentioned becomes a huge deal. Like, where are the guys that you can say, all right, maybe it's not perfect, but I can at least count on this guy going forward? Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, can there, we can do this coming back. Can you play out if that first scenario of guys are hitting him, his velocity is down, he doesn't look like a major league pitcher? What is the kind of window for Kershaw to say, all right, he's on the right track, or guys, this just isn't going to work?
Which brings us to the biggest question they have with that and with what they do between now and next week's trade deadline. Like, how big do you go if, in fact, you've got problems like that? That's coming up. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
All right, I'm excited. Let me tell you why I'm excited. I'm excited about my next trip to Pechanga. I've been talking a little bit about Pechanga Resort Casino. I was there a couple of weeks ago. What a beautiful property. If you have not had the chance to go out to Pechanga, or maybe it's been years since you went out and visited that Temecula area, you're talking about an hour trip from Los Angeles. Think about how much of a headache it is right now to go take your family. Or, by the way, you just want to go with your significant other, or you just want to go hang out with the boys. Think about how much that would cost. You got to go buy tickets. You got to get on a flight. Just the headache that comes with traveling. Why would you do all that when you could go to Pechanga Resort Casino, like I mentioned, about an hour away, world-class resort, exceptional entertainment, dining, spa, and golf, and let's not forget the round-the-clock gaming excitement. By the way, 1,100 hotel rooms and suite. I could tell you firsthand, stayed in one of their rooms recently. Beautiful, beautiful room. Great, great views, whether it's of the pool or the mountains. They got the spa there. They got the golf course. And if you're a family, I want to give you a great incentive to go. The Cove, which is an incredible 4.5-acre pool complex. There are 4 pools, 3 hot tubs, 2 twisty water slides at the family pool. So obviously you can hang out with the familia there. Visit pechanga.com or call 888-PECHANGA to book. You can book your reservation right now for more information. Also follow them on Instagram at Pechanga Casino for up-to-the-minute news and information.
There's a new fall lineup coming to 710 ESPN, and it means even more live and local LA sports. Starting Monday, September 9th, there's a new fall lineup on 710 ESPN, and it means the 9-hour LA Sports Mega Block begins an hour earlier. Even more live and local LA sports talk on 710 ESPN. The Travis and Sliwa Show will start at 9 a.m. Mason and Ireland move back to noon to 3, and Shidano and Cappy start the LA Afternoon Drive Takeover at 3 p.m. And then at 6 p.m., we are the destination for LA sports. It's a new fall lineup on 710 ESPN, and it begins Monday, September 9th.
Really excited to see the new schools come into play at the Coliseum. Obviously, you're going to have Notre Dame to finish the season. That's always a special game. But seeing Nebraska showing up, Penn State showing up, LSU at the Collie, that's what I'm really looking forward to.
I think both programs, the men's football program and the men's basketball program, are moving in the right direction. And the women's basketball program at USC is going to be ranked top 5 next year. So it's a great time for the USC Trojans to be back on ESPN LA.
I'm really curious to see, what does USC football look like without Caleb Williams? What are the adjustments that Lincoln Riley makes? And what is the defense going to look like in the non-Alex Grinch era?
New conference, new quarterback, just really fired up on the football side. New head coach for basketball, so almost like a really new team, which is going to be awesome. And then returning to prominence for USC women's basketball, to be back to where USC women's basketball is. I'm super excited to see Juju in her second year, but just the rest of the players continue to grow under Coach Godley.
This beautiful thing has been up since the first time SC was here. But guess what? USC is back! And once again, this means something for us. Pumped for this season. USC Athletics back on 710 ESPN.
tomorrow.
Right.
But we already have some Olympic action happening.
Do you think they'll use Morales' voice there?
Of course.
They have
Yeah,
to.
I think they will.
That's how we avoid copyright infringement. We got Nigeria and Brazil women's soccer playing right now. Who cares? We've seen that all the time. Also, Brazil just scored. Now it's 1-0. But we have a great competition between Hungary and France handball. Okay, guys?
Men's or women's?
Women's handball.
Okay.
France is taking it to Hungary. It is about a 3-goal. I'm assuming that's how you say
I assume they're goals, yes.
Goal difference. I was trying to explain to Travis what I think handball rules are, but let's go. Olympics are here, guys.
I am here with you, Emily, for wacky Olympic sports that show up once every 4 years. Like, if you got some handball action, I'm with you. If you've got the modern pentathlon.
Take back your handball slander.
I'm your guy. The track and field and all that's fine. I like the Olympics, so it's not so bad, but I do like. Here's my pet peeve of what's happening right now, Al. When do the Olympics start?
Tonight.
Wrong.
Oh, tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that's right. After
the Olympics, they're all going to get on boats and go down the River Seine. And that actually is going to be kind of cool. That's a different way to do it. I think that'll be kind of neat. What the hell? Why did we have soccer? Why do we have handball going on? They're already playing. The Olympics are not open. How can there be Olympic action before the games have? They didn't even light the fire yet. What the hell are we doing here?
Well, the fire's coming.
Okay, quick question. And who'd you say, France and who?
Hungary.
France and Hungary and handball, yes.
Yeah, I mean, France is ranked number 1 in the world. Like, this is not a surprise. Like, the fact that, Trav, I get upset because Hungary's 8th ranked in the world right now. The other countries, you got to watch out for Norway, Denmark, Netherlands. Those are the games that we really need updates on.
Yeah, and they start after Friday. Like, what are we doing here?
The only handball I know is
Why not start the World Series right now? Like, let's have the Super Bowl.
Okay, could it be a little bit like Dodgers and Padres starting, and then everybody else started 2 weeks later?
It's not opening day in baseball.
It wasn't opening day.
It was opening day. The season was open at that point, even though they did come back and play spring training.
Exactly. And everyone says baseball opening day was never in April.
You can't have the Olympics every 4 years at least on the cycle, every 2 years, but whatever. And then be like, hey, they start opening ceremonies on July 26th. Unless you're a lady handball player. And then we're going to start a couple of days before.
Or a lady soccer player.
Or a lady soccer player or a men's soccer player. Like, what are we doing? Things start and end at certain times.
Playing
Bothers
the group
me.
stages. That's what you're doing, Travis.
Lame.
They had to get Paris ready. Come on. We got Lady Gaga and
Did
Celine Dion.
they get all the, is the river clean? Are we allowed to go in the river yet?
Not a chance. That river is gross. Full of E. coli.
Didn't basically everybody... Who
Yes.
was it? There's like different politicians
they went
that were like,
upstream
no, I'm bringing a cup here. I'm going to drink the water right now.
It ended up just being like Anne Hidalgo, who's the mayor of Paris, was the only one that ended up actually swimming in the Seine.
Is she still alive?
Yeah, she's still alive. Emmanuel Macron backed out of it. I wonder why.
You guys ever see RoboCop?
No.
Al, you ever see RoboCop? Remember
back in the day?
Remember when the guy got all the toxic waste dumped on him, and the truck exploded, and all the toxic waste landed on him? He started to kind of all of his melt.
Yeah,
I figured Mayor Hidalgo coming out of the River Seine like the RoboCop villain. Why do they say River Seine and not the Seine River? Why do they do that? See. Can we do the game somewhere else?
What's the deal with that,
guys? There needs to be an order of things. It bothers me. I like the rule of law. Yeah, how about those airplane peanuts, right?
Yeah.
Going back to what we were talking about a second ago, Al, with the Dodger pitchers, and you said Kershaw, Miller, and Buehler, right? Those are the three guys that you asked. Like, who can you count on amongst that group to be a part of what you're doing in the postseason?
Yeah, and by the way, the answer could be none of them. But I think Yamamoto we're not talking about because
he'll either be there or he won't.
Yeah, his is injury related.
Right.
Walker Buehler basically decided I'm leaving. I mean, obviously with the Dodgers, I mentally and physically, I'm not where I need to be. I'm gonna go do my own thing for a little bit. Bobby Miller was sent down. And there are reasons why he was sent down.
Because he was bad.
Because he was bad. And Clayton Kershaw's coming back, and of course I don't think they'd be bringing him back unless he was healthy. So you got to imagine he's healthy. Now it's just going to come down to his actual stuff.
I think of those three guys, the guys that if you're trying to project into October and think, okay, this is what we need to have for us to be successful in October in a 5-game playoff series, in a 7-game playoff series, I think you can't count on any of those three. I think you literally have to make plans elsewhere. If you get any of them, great. If they rediscover their mojo, if Clayton Kershaw shows up and looks great, if Bobby Miller all of a sudden,
if
like I said, if you get any of them that all of a sudden are like, look, that guy's going game 2 or game 3, awesome. I think here's what it is. Glasnow, you have to have. It's a non-negotiable. If he's not healthy and pitching really well, you're basically dead before you start. Yamamoto, I think, is a 50-50 shot. If he's around, great. He'll be awesome, but I don't know with that health. I'm cautiously optimistic. Gavin Stone he's going to have to continue to pitch well, and you're going to have to go find somebody. That's where you are. You're going to Glasnow, cross your fingers on Yamamoto, Stone, and somebody that's not on the team right now. If Buehler, Miller, or Kershaw step into that role, awesome. But I really don't think if you're Andrew Friedman, if you're Dave Roberts, and you're looking at what those guys are, where they are right now, how they've pitched so far this season, or how long they've been since they've pitched effectively, I don't think you can take any of those guys and say, by the time we get to October, I'm going to feel really good about running Walker Buehler out on the mound. Not today, you can't. You just can't count on those guys right now.
Yeah, and it's also, for the Dodgers, it's such a – as much as we've talked about the regular season has been a luxury for them, hey, they can try out different youngsters. They don't have to worry about winning on a day-to-day game. They don't. But the big picture is always the concern. And if the Dodgers weren't, if they're not making a pennant run this year, okay, you know what? Let's take our time with some of these. But I'm with you. I think there's such a curiosity. I think the Kershaw one, and I want to ask you this question because you said something when we were talking a few minutes ago that hypothetically, if Kershaw struggles tonight, or struggles today, and his struggles have more to do with everyone just kind of hitting him hard.
Right.
Okay, he's getting some outs, but it's good contact.
Right.
Not really striking out anybody. His velocity is down.
He's not missing bats.
Can you give me if he's obviously going to get a few starts? What is his? At what point would Kershaw say, or would the Dodgers say, you know what? We tried this. I just don't think it's – is there a scenario that can play itself out where Kershaw comes back and then before you even get to the postseason that Kershaw is, hey, I don't know if we're going to use him?
Sure there is. And I don't think it's all that complicated. He pitches poorly, and they're not going to say, oh, he sucks, he's not going to pitch in the postseason. They're going to say he had a setback in his rehab. That the shoulder did not respond the way that we need to. We need the roster spot for a relief pitcher that he can only pitch, once every 7 or 8 days. They'll come up with a reason to not do it, but I think we would know that he's just not getting guys out because this has been an ongoing issue for a few years now. As great as he's been over the course of his career, where he is now has nothing to do with where he was 6 or 7 years ago. They're not. It's not the same person. It's a different athlete at this point. It's an athlete who just went through his first ever surgery. It's an athlete who is pitching with an arsenal that is very different than the one that he used to pitch with 5 or 6 years ago. That before, not only did he have that curveball and that slider, but he had a fastball that played really well at the major league level. Right now, if that thing's not exactly where it's supposed to be, buckle up. Right? He just doesn't have that anymore. He doesn't have that little off ramp to kind of, okay, I'm in a little trouble. I'm going to reach back. I'm going to let one go. He doesn't have that anymore. And so if he can't miss bats, just because he's number 22 and it says Kershaw on the back doesn't mean that he's on the team in perpetuity. If he's not missing bats, what are we doing here? They have to win the World Series. Anything less than that, barring a Bryce Harper grand slam in the bottom of the 7th inning or 9th inning, is going to be looked at as really. And if you're running out of Kershaw who's getting clobbered kind of sort of regularly heading into it, and you still pitch him, what are we doing?
How do you feel? Do you feel?
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful, but I'm not optimistic with him specifically.
Maybe that's the perfect way to describe it. Hopeful, but not optimistic. I think that's every Dodger fan out there that There's a lot of Kershaw jerseys always at Dodger Stadium. There's a reason for it. It's July 25th. He's yet to make a start this year. He's coming off a playoff run where clearly he didn't look healthy, or the other teams.
He was in OKC last week throwing in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard to be super fired up about a guy that was, it's a deadlock cinch, first ballot Hall of Fame pitcher who just had his shoulder surgery for the first time, and he's throwing 89 miles an hour. It just, you can be hopeful, but to be optimistic, I think would be a little naive. I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong, but I don't think I am. Hey, did you see? Foo. Coming up next, it's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
The most followed sports radio station in America.
710 ESPN.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Hey guys, John Ireland here. To build a winning team, you have to have the right people doing what they do best. If you're in a position to hire for your business, listen closely, because we have the ultimate teammate, ZipRecruiter. And you can try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. Hiring the right candidate is hard. ZipRecruiter uses powerful matching technology to quickly find and send you the most qualified people. So it makes finding and hiring your next superstar much easier. This is why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. So be like the 3.8 million businesses who have come to ZipRecruiter and sped up their hiring process. Try ZipRecruiter today for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. One more time, ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
This is the Doctor in the Dugout with Dr. Alan Beyer, presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
I'm often asked about people who suffer their first back injury, think they've pulled a muscle in their back, and they don't stretch enough as far as their back is concerned. So when do you seek care from a doctor when you've sustained a back injury? At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, we like to tell people that the most important thing is to watch and see if that back pain is radiating down your leg, causing any numbness, causing any weakness, or any bowel or bladder dysfunction. These are surgical problems usually and require a more urgent visit to the emergency room rather than waiting to see the doctor. If none of these signs are present, it's safe to wait it out, rest for a few days, and seek medical care from your doctor within a week or so. Hope that helps. Keep stretching your back. If that doesn't get better in a week or 10 days, that's when it's time to seek the orthopedic specialist. Hope this keeps you on the field, and keep listening. We'll be back soon.
Keep listening for more on the road to recovery right here on 710 ESPN.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See? We didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
And it is Travis and Sliwa, and it's time for the segment we do around this time, 10:40 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Hey, did you see that sky today?
Did you guys see that? Basically, the days we don't do Ask Slee, we do this thing. It's called, Hey, Did You See?
Did you see that? I saw it, I did it. Did you see the memo about this?
I mean, I'm excited. You can tell by my read. Hey, did you see?
So, hey, did you happen to see?
It's time for Hey, Did You See?
Hey, man, did you touch my drum set?
Have you read this? Right now on Travis and Sliwa.
Jorge, did you see that Hungary and France are getting ready to start the second half of team handball at the Olympics?
See, I thought handball was the Cholo one with the blue ball against the wall. I thought that was handball.
That's like American handball.
Yeah, this is.
I
said it was water polo on a court.
That's a good call. Yeah. It's water polo, basketball, hockey, lacrosse.
I understand that, but
it's all. I don't know what the heck it is. Other than awesome.
I'm ready for handball.
You're telling me they got 2 referees, officials, umpires. I don't know what they're called in handball. You mean tell me there's more than one person that knows the rules to this in the entire world? They found 2 people? How's that possible?
Yeah, all right. A little respect for the handball.
Oh, no, I got none. It's pretty great, though. I'm enjoying it. What do you got?
All right, so speaking of referees and speaking of the Olympics starting early, yesterday there was a thrilling. It was Argentina versus Morocco. So the game starts off, end of the first half, Morocco 1-0. Early second half, 2-0 Morocco. 68th minute, 2-1 Argentina. This is where it gets interesting. Stoppage time was 15 minutes long because VAR, according to what I read, they're testing this new thing where no time is going to go wasted. Every time there's, they're
going to play 90 minutes.
They're going to play 90 minutes plus whatever was wasted. So according to whoever's in charge of counting this, they decided let's add 15 extra minutes.
Which is a lot.
Is a lot.
A ton.
Yeah.
Even I know that.
So Argentina scores within that stoppage time to tie it 2-2, and that was going to be the end of regulation and end of the game. Fans started to riot. They started, jumping, going into the stadium, going onto the field, throwing flares. It put the players in danger.
That's how it was yesterday in Carson.
Yeah, right.
Bournemouth and Arsenal.
In the parking lot, I'm assuming. So then they decide, okay, let's kick all the fans out. Let's stop the game. Let's kick everybody out. And then
how long did that take?
It took about an hour, maybe 2 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah. A long time.
Fans get out of the stadium. Meanwhile, this is happening. Some of the Moroccan players go to the ref and say, hey, you know what? We need you to double-check that goal from Argentina in stoppage time and review this because we believe there's offside and there's proof. There's video proof that he was offside. Now, mind you, this is half an hour tops.
But the game also isn't over.
Okay, Jorge, quick question.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why the players need to remind the referees to go check on a replay? Why didn't they just check on the replay?
Because, again, it's VAR, and then people started jumping into the stadium. Right.
So from the time that
they scored,
the player was potentially offsides to the time that they went to review it was how long?
Maybe half an hour later.
Okay.
Or more.
Okay.
So why not look at it right there and then? Because the riots and people started, that's why they didn't look at it.
Got it.
So meanwhile, they're looking at this. 2 hours later, they decide, you know what, we're going to replay. 15 minutes.
2 hours later.
2 hours later. And then they said, but we're going to start it at 2-1 because Argentina was offside. So Argentina ends up losing the match 2-1. But they've decided to play this 2 hours later. Now, is this the right way of using replay?
Review.
I mean, this is ridiculous. Okay, yes, he was offside. Emily's like, yeah, but he was offside, dude. Yeah, he was offside.
Call right.
Yeah, he got the call right.
And that's what offsides is.
But you can't make a call like that 2 hours later. It's like in football, you have the challenge flag.
Yeah.
And you have up to the next play to throw your flag. If you don't throw that flag, it's over. Done.
Baseball's similar. You got to call it kind of in the moment.
You have to have some kind of the clock does have to be, or it's by the time the next play runs. There's a reason. I'm gonna throw an NBA example, and this is the only one in the NBA that I've ever seen them let plays run, and then they figure it out after. Trav, you ever see where they're trying to figure out 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's fine. Because,
doesn't affect
by the way,
flow.
And they're doing it. They're saying we're going to review it. They kind of give that signal they're going to review it later on. But it's not that it happened in the first quarter, and in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left to go, they're like, hey, give them an extra point.
Yeah.
I think this is a perfect example. A perfect example. Did they get by the letter of the law, did they get the call right? Probably, right? In my opinion, this is just where we've gotten to, and this is why VAR, review, all of this stuff, almost without exception, needs to go away. Because that we're getting to the point where this VAR or replay was not meant to retroactively a half an hour after something happened and Jorge, you were telling me this guy was offsides by like the length of his shoe?
Yep, that was it.
Okay. That's not what this is for. This is to fix egregious mistakes that are made in the moment that happen right there. We're going to stop. We're going to take a look at that where the coach or the manager or player that you say, hey, look, that clearly was done wrong. We're going to look, and in 10 seconds, we're like, yep, we missed it. All right, let's fix it. Let's start over. Not because there was a riot on the field, we have some extra time. Hey, go back and go frame by frame by frame to see what this stuff is. I don't think that's the intent of it. I understand what you're saying, Em, that the idea is to get it right. And yes, at its most basic level, you're right. But I believe that this, to microanalyze every inch of film over and over again, is counterproductive to the enjoyment of the sport, the flow of the game. It's just not what it's there to do. It's there to fix gross mistakes. That's not what this was.
If you went, you thinking you just did in any sport, you picked a sport. Do you want replay or do you not want replay? I think most people would say, you know what, I'm good if replay is gone. Let these referees or these – and by the way, there's certain things that are that ball hit the line, did it not? Like there's certain things that we can say, okay, that there could be a replay for, but for the most part, I think people are more turned off by replay than they ever have been.
But that's what VAR is. So VAR for offsides and goals should be like this because it's literally AI. It's a line and it's a – figure. They do it with the computer right away. Offsides, not offsides, that should be the call. Goal, not goal, should be the call.
Right, but on the spot. Simple. On the spot, not 30 minutes later.
Every goal should
be
reviewed.
On the spot, though. On the spot.
Yes, like in football, where every scoring play is reviewed. Just like how it should be for soccer. Every scoring play should be reviewed, whether they're offside, not offside, if the ball crossed the goal, didn't cross the goal. We're not litigating whether a foul happened or not with this call specifically, but it is wrong that it happened 2 hours later.
That's the problem. If this were done instantaneously or nearly instantaneously, if this was, hey, we're checking that, offside, okay, no, fine. But a half an hour later, because there was some other incident that took place on the field, that's not what this is for. This is not to, again, this is an old man alert coming. Sports are not a math equation or computer model to be solved. Right. They're supposed to be fun. There's supposed to be flow. There's supposed to be excitement. There's supposed to be disappointment. There's supposed to be mistakes. This is the way that it goes. At the end of the day, all of this stuff is supposed to be fun and enjoyable and a television product. That's not what this is.
This is the world stage, this is the Olympics. This is, a serious game, and we're doing tests.
Olympics yet? Not to Travis.
Yeah, not to Travis. But seriously, VAR is doing testing here on this tournament. Like, shouldn't you do that with like Arsenal and Dortmund? Like, that's what you need.
15
They
minutes.
should start testing stuff in the World Series.
15 minutes of stoppage time is absolutely ridiculous. You should never have 15 minutes of stoppage time. It's the most I've ever seen is like 10, maybe.
It's a lot,
and that's because someone had to get literally stretchered off.
Yep.
All right. There's something happening in baseball. It happened yesterday and kind of over a 2-day period that I think it's an official end of an era, and it deeply bums me out. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. So Prize Picks, Al. The Olympics, I guess, have started. Kind of. Maybe they start tomorrow. I don't know. But what they do is Prize Picks, they're giving you a freebie, basically. You think LeBron James will get a point in the Olympics? I do. I think that the over on LeBron James, the more on LeBron James is very likely to hit. If he gets a point, the more than hits. Prize Picks is giving you a freebie in Olympic basketball heading into this slate, and that's what makes Prize Picks so fun. More or less on your picks, you can turn $10 into $1,000.
Over 5 million active members. Travis just mentioning. I love this, and they do this all the time. I'm looking already at the Olympics, and I'm already looking at international basketball play. So LeBron, like Trav mentioned, it's a free point. Literally all he's got to score is half a point. I'm going to pick a couple Lakers. Dennis Schroeder, former Laker, more or less than 17.5 points. Rui Hachimura, more or less than 20 points. I'm going to put $20 in. I got a chance to win $100. You could submit your lineup. It takes about 60 seconds. The one thing you got to do is just put in the code 710. So go to prizepicks.com or download the app like everybody else is doing at 710 ESPN. Put that code in 710 and make sure that you start playing some of your games.
AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
The biggest show on the radio.
That's Mason in Ireland. Weekdays after Crab and Sleep.
But don't you have a boat, like a pontoon boat out
we
there?
We don't take the boat out until golf's
What
over.
about fishing? Do you go fishing
Hell
up there
no.
on Lake Coeur d'Alene? Because I do like a good fishing trip. Oh, I grew up fishing. Are you
When's
kidding
the last
me?
time you've gone fishing?
1978.
It's been 20 years, but remember, we owned a place on the lake.
Yacht Rock was new music back when you went fishing.
We owned a place on Lake Erie and fished all the time. White bass, walleye, perch. We did a lot of fishing.
I've never fished.
I loved it.
I'd go fishing with you. Anytime you want, I'll go on a fishing bit with
Chris, you would hate it.
Oh, it's great.
Okay.
Fishing is
Lures.
so boring, it's indescribable.
Oh, it's so good. It's so meditative.
Is it?
Yeah, it's very meditative. You sit there.
Boring as hell, Chris.
Sit there and relax and focus.
Who needs to relax when you got 120 to the pin for birdie?
There you go. That's the difference between me and Ireland.
Steve Mason and John Ireland. Today at 1 p.m.
Mason in Ireland on 710 ESPN.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A good karma brands radio station.
It's Travis Rogers, Alan Sliwa.
Day has the same person dropped off food at your house twice in one day. I don't
Great
know.
question.
Travis and Sliwa.
On 710 ESPN.
Slee, it is my goal by the end of the segment, if not by the end of the day, to be a Olympic handball expert. Or at least kind of have a grasp of what's going on. I was thinking about this. I made a little pit stop during the break there. And as I walking out, I see it on the TV. What do we got? France and Hungary, 1917 in Olympic handball. How do you get into that? Like, have you guys, let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a handball court? Have you ever known someone that plays handball? Have you ever seen a handball league pop up in your neighborhood?
I played it in gym class in high school.
This kind of handball?
We played this version of a handball in gym class in high school.
Okay, that makes one.
Jorge and I played pickup handball on Thursdays.
The one with the
We're in a
blue
league.
ball against the wall, that's the handball I know.
That's racquetball because you don't have any rackets.
Well, no, because you play with the palm of your hand.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
No
There's
rackets.
no
Yeah,
rackets,
you're right.
so you just use your hand. We've all done that,
Isn't
right?
that like the number one sport in jail?
Yes,
I'm
you're
serious.
right.
I think it's basketball and the handball
and weightlifting.
No, they took the weights out now.
You
because
can't
they were
have
getting
weights?
too big for the officers.
Guys, we're in luck. The Los Angeles Team Handball Club, we can go to join us. Practice.
Like the ball is an odd size. It's like bigger than a softball, smaller than a volleyball. It's like halfway in between those two things. Well, I don't know. The uniform's kind of like half of a volleyball uniform with a soccer long sleeve jersey.
It's pretty close to volleyball, but sometimes, like, you know how like liberos wear
Yeah,
the
the long
sleeve?
sleeves.
It's like a libero uniform.
I want to know how, like, somebody says to you, I got the sport for you. Like, I don't understand how you end up on the handball team in the Olympics. Like, what is the path? How did we get here?
Well, you're in luck. There is a facility right near you where you live. So it's at the rinks in Irvine.
Okay.
And you can get out there and get, again, if you've already, I'm sure you have already done having your kids are going to be doing their career. But if you could tell them, hey, study up, be a really good handball player, and become Team USA in handball. And
That's
get
what I mean.
sponsorships.
Like, Sleep. So
you want to make the Olympics or not? All right. You want.
I guess that's it, right?
I mean, you're trying to go be a power forward at you got to be 6'8" and everything.
Now you're getting to what I'm getting. So if you're 6'8", okay, or you're let's say you're in 5th grade and you're a lot taller than the other kids.
Yeah.
Okay, Junior, here's basketball. Let's see what happens. And let's just say maybe you're not quite basketball material, but you're still one of the bigger kids. You know what? Let's put a volleyball in your hands. I see how that happens, right? Volleyball players are very big. They're very athletic and all of these kind of things.
Big time.
How many different things are we going through before we say, handball's for you? Like, I'm curious. I understand how baseball, soccer, volleyball, tennis, swimming,
Those
golf.
all got to go.
Like, I understand how all of these are things that you try. Track, swimming, diving. But Handball?
Ping pong.
Sure.
Yep.
You win every 4th of July backyard ping pong tournament, and finally somebody's there is like, hey, you know what? Come out to the Olympic trials, and we're going to put you in there.
You were a good archer, but handball's your thing.
Yeah.
If you are in the Southern California area and you have climbed up the ranks of the handball community, call us 877-773-7776.
You don't have to. You actually don't have to call us.
No.
You don't have to call us at all.
I'm with this. I like this idea, but I don't want to know how to climb the rank. I want to know how you got started. Like, was your dad on the team? Was your mom on the team? Like, how do you get into this? I love the Olympics. Like fencing, I get. You're just a rich guy. Right? And it's what you do.
A troubled teen.
You fence. Right. You do dressage. If you grow up at a boarding school, you fence or do equestrian or dressage.
Yeah, you're Jessica Springsteen, who actually went to the Olympics for dressage.
Yeah, her father's the most famous rock star to have ever lived. I get it. Handball?
I'm starting to look at basically what are the craziest sports in the Olympics.
Breakdancing this year. It's the debut of breakdancing in the Olympics this year. That's real. I did not make that up.
Handball's on the list.
What's Lee?
Handball's on the list. Yeah, it's on the list.
At least it's on a court and there's a ball.
We seen that movie Eddie the Eagle?
The ski jumper guy.
He went through the book to see what sport Great Britain wasn't in it,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, I'll do that one." And
that's bold.
That's how he got it.
Because you at least have to ski jump. That seems fairly terrifying.
Very dangerous, very scary. But you know what? Is there a Mike Trout of handball who
Probably
had a fantastic career and was just wasting away on Team USA when he could play for France?
So Mike Trout tweaked his knee early in the season. He was off to a weird start to a season. He was hitting a bunch of home runs, but he wasn't.
Can we stop for a quick second?
Yeah.
That was really good. I don't know how the hell you got us from that to the Mike Trout thing, but I just got to give credit where credit's due. Go ahead.
So, weird start to his season, hitting home runs, but not getting a lot of hits. And then he tweaks his knee and he gets shut down for a couple of months. We're getting closer to him coming back, and Ron Washington, the manager of the Angels, said the other day that he was going to go to Salt Lake, play for the Bees, and play 5 innings, get a few at-bats, and then we'll see how he feels after that. He didn't even make it 2 innings before he came out of the game.
Jeez.
They sent him back to California today. He left the rehab assignment, and he's going to be reevaluated, which probably means that he'll be shut down for another period of time. This makes about 4 years or so in a row where he just hasn't been able to stay on the field. I don't think it's a huge stretch to kind of close the book on him being a super easy answer for who's the best player in baseball, right? For about a 10-year window, there really wasn't much of a conversation. It was him, and it really wasn't close. Because and I just want to read this to you, Slee, because I know that I'm a Mike Trout fan. I think he's one of the greatest players I've ever seen in my entire life. From 2012 to 2021, this is what this man accomplished. Okay, he won the Rookie of the Year. He won the MVP 3 times. He finished in the top 2 in MVP voting 6 times. He finished in the top 5 in MVP voting in a 10-year window 9 times. Let me say that again. In a 10-year window, he finished in the top 5 9 times, won it 3 times. He was a 9-time All-Star. He's a 2-time All-Star Game MVP. He was an 8-time Silver Slugger. There wasn't a lot of debate until kind of Shohei showed up of who the best player in baseball was. It was Mike Trout. And he could run, he could play defense. He hit home runs. He was the answer to who's the best player in the baseball for a 10-year window. I mean, think about that. MVP 3 times, top 5 9 times, top 2 6 times. He was either him or one other guy. And it's probably over. It's very likely over. What a colossal waste of one of the great careers in Major League history, or at least a 10-year window in Major League history. Went to the playoffs once. They went 0 for 3. He hit .083 in that series. He was 1 for 12. He did hit a home run with his 1 hit. They've had 3 winning seasons in the last 9 years. What a waste of one of the most talented, gifted baseball players to ever walk the planet, and he played in no games that mattered.
Did you see, and I know you'll remember this, but the start of this season, he only played 29 games.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but because it was a couple months ago now, he was the first one to 10 home runs in Major League Baseball. He was, you kind of started looking like, oh my gosh, look at Mike Trout. How great it is to see Mike Trout playing good baseball again, and just more importantly, being healthy. But Trav, here are his last few seasons. Don't count the 2020 season because there was only 60 games he played in 53 of them. He played in 36 games in 2021. He played in 119 games in 2022, 82 games last year in 2023, and he's played in 29 games so far with the Angels this year, and we're over 100 games.
Yep.
The one thing that I will say that I sympathize with the injuries. I really do. I think it's impossible not to sympathize with the injuries. My problem with Mike Trout is, remember when Shohei Ohtani came out and was basically saying, I want to make the playoffs. I can't remember exactly what he's saying, but it was putting pressure on, I want to win. And Shohei Ohtani did something that Mike Trout did not do. Shohei Ohtani made a decision and decided a certain point of his career, the first opportunity that he got, I can't win with the Angels. I'm going to get out of here. Now, Trout signed a monster deal, and nobody's, blaming him for signing a 12-year deal. And
he's still one of the highest paid players in baseball.
Why did you think when you signed that 12-year deal something different was going to happen with the Angels? That's the only thing that I will say is, to a certain point, is this organization one of the worst-run organizations in all sports?
Sure it is.
Yes. Is Artie Moreno one of the worst owners in all of sports and gets in the way of real baseball people making decisions? Yes, absolutely. Does Artie Moreno spend? He does. They're just spending on the wrong players.
Yeah.
My problem with Mike Trout is he was too loyal to a team, or winning wasn't the top priority. Because if winning was the priority and you want to see him in more playoff games, I don't think you could sign that contract with the Angels, and he did.
Yeah, I don't know if one has anything to do with the other, frankly. It's an uncapped league. They can spend the money that they want to spend. I think that for that 10-year window that we're talking about, the injuries, I'm with you. It's just terrible
Nothing
luck.
You could do.
It's unfortunate. Yep. And what's weird about it is I think because Anthony Rendon was actually even played less, if that's even possible, and made more, if that's even possible, and was on the same team and seemed to hate baseball in the process, that it kind of overshadowed how Mike Trout's career over the last couple of years has gone, which has been just the exact opposite of how the early part of it has gone. I'm with you that him not speaking up is on him. He should have. He should have done it a lot sooner and a lot louder. I'm talking about having a player that is so unbelievably gifted and maximize those gifts. He's never out of shape. He never dogged it. Like he was as good as he could possibly be. The team was garbage for a good portion of the time, but you were never saying, needs to do more, Mike Trout. Not for a 10-year window, and that they didn't get him the help he needs. Now, should he have spoken up? Sure, he should have.
But why is it up to him?
That's where I kind of am on this. Is that?
But can I just say that when you say why is it up to him, what I'm saying is if we're going to sympathize with Mike Trout because of how great of a player is. You and Mace were on the same page with something that really threw me off. When you guys said, that's the greatest player that I've ever seen. And this was a couple years ago. You guys, and in my head, I'm like, no, you can't say it's the greatest player. These players are great. The reason why we talk about the greats is because what they do in the postseason. We watch them do great things in the playoffs. They take their game to another level. I think Shohei might be the perfect example of that when we get a chance to watch him in the playoffs. We'll see. We'll see what eventually happens. But I have – why is it his fault? When I say it's his fault, I'm talking about that organization, you can't produce winning with that organization. They've already told you that. When he had the opportunity, it would have been great for him to say at any stage of his career, either I'm going to win with the Angels or I'm going to go win somewhere else.
Yeah, it's his fault for not speaking up, but I'm just really bummed out that a guy because did he have the best career of anybody ever? No. Do you have to have at least some postseason resume to be in this conversation? I agree with you. Yeah, you do. But as far as the most talented and maximizing those gifts for a period of time, it was Griffey-esque. It was Bonds-esque. It was Ohtani-esque. It was just as good as any of those other things. And there's not a moment to speak of. Not one.
Like, close your eyes.
Not
where is
one.
Mike Trout?
It's like even Ohtani
striking out to Shohei.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. I remember, when I was working for the Angels, he made a great catch against the wall in Baltimore. Okay, that was cool. He All-Star Game MVP twice. That's cool. But I mean, My God. And it's probably over. That's what just kind of inspired all this. Seeing him break down, it's a bummer. I hope it's not. I hope he keeps going because I'm a fan. I really am. Mm-hmm. But 10 years of where you had the best player and it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Nada. That's a bummer. That's a real bummer. Like
it's a good perspective on it.
It's and to your point, Al, that he didn't bang on the table and say, get me the hell out of here, or do better and really turn the screws publicly, because that's different than doing it privately. It's a drag.
So, Travis, if he, again, I don't have the contract in front of me, but let's just be hypothetical.
Yeah.
He plays 1 year with the Phillies. He plays and he's not the same Mike Trout. He's this version of Mike Trout, kind of limping towards the finish line. He has a moment in the playoffs. How would that make you feel? Like, he gets a moment in the playoffs. Maybe they win a World Series. They get to the World Series. Would that make you feel good for Mike Trout? Would it make you feel sad for Mike Trout? Like, what's that feeling?
I would feel like, honestly, and maybe this is just my personality, how many more of this did we miss because nothing happened sooner? Like, if a broken down, busted up guy could still summon a moment like you're talking about and put his team across the finish line, what would that have been had he been at his full powers? That's what would have come to mind. I'm glad he would have gotten it for his sake. I'm happy for him that he got it. But all it would do is remind me of all the missed opportunities. Because
you'd still be cursing out Artie Moreno.
It would be 10 years. It's not like he put together a season where he hit 60 home runs, drove in 150, and hit 395, and you missed it. He did it for 10 years. Top 5, 9 out of 10 years. Top 2, 6 times in a 10-year window. He won it 3 times. Dumb. That they blew that is just awful. And to your point, Al, you mentioned, are they terribly run? I think nothing speaks more clearly than that. That they and by the way, Shohei Ohtani was there with him for 6 of those years. Mm-hmm. Nada. Great. Congratulations. Lincoln Riley. I'm starting to change my opinion on something I thought was ridiculous, starting to make more sense.
Over here.
I know. You might have been right. I hate that. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Valvoline, check your sticker. What does the mile say? What does the date say? Is your car ready for service? Because you're going somewhere, right? You're going to do something this summer. You're going to take a little drive, go see some family, some friends. So before you get on the road, why not head into your neighborhood Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change? Because Valvoline, for over 30 years, has provided quick and convenient automotive maintenance services for busy people like you and me, which means you don't get out of your car at Valvoline. You sit there nice and safe, nice and relaxed. You can chill out for a few minutes, close your eyes, send a text, listen to a podcast, whatever you want, nice and relaxed while the expert technicians go to work on your car. Oil changes, tire rotations, transmission care, and a whole lot more. Just pull up, drive in, and drive out in about 15 minutes. And with over 80 locations ready to help you get your ride ready for the road in no time at all. So visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and game-winning coupons off of your next Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
And coming up around 11:30 this morning, it is time for Factor Cap with producer Emily, presented by our new partner here on the Travis and Sliwa Show, the law offices of Joseph S. Normand.
If you've been in an accident, me and my team are dedicated to help you achieve the maximum compensation you deserve. Plus, no fees until you get paid.
That's right, homeboy. Factor Cap coming up in minutes on the Travis and Sliwa Show on 710 ESPN.
Introducing Pizza Hut's new tavern-style pizza. Go thinner, go crispier, go bolder, and get the new tavern-style pizza only from Pizza Hut. Get a medium, 1-topping tavern for just $12. Order now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com.
Hey, it's Travis.
And Slee. By now you have heard about our good friends at the law office of Joseph S. Normand.
When my son Bobby was in an accident, we called Joe and he hit it out of the park. That's why I trust Joe.
No insurance company is ever on your side. Anything you say to them can and will be used against you. Joe and his team will treat you like family, get you the medical attention you need, and the max compensation you deserve.
Call 213-747-2000. That's 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com.
The law office of Joseph S. Normand.
Get your red on and enjoy Angels baseball from the comfort of a suite. Entertain guests with all-inclusive packages. Call 888-796-HALO or visit angels.com/suites.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day. And smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Small business owners, we know finishing your to-do list can feel like rowing upstream. But it's a river, a whitewater river, and the only paddles you have are pool noodles. Then when a new to-do pops up, you're like, nope, I'm already rowing upstream with these pool noodle paddles. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy to get personalized discounts with a commercial auto insurance quote online, so your to-do list is smooth sailing. See if you can save on commercial auto insurance in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverages and discounts not available in all states and subject to policy terms and underwriting.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
It's Travis Rogers, Alan Sliwa. Travis and Sliwa.
But do you think it's the right move? Do you think it's the right strategy?
No. Live from LA Live on 710 ESPN.
I'm all in on this, guys. Handball's got me. They even had like a glamour shot of the French goalie, I believe, or maybe it was a Hungarian goalie, but she did like a "Are you not entertained?" moment. She like had her arms wide spread out in front of the roaring crowd. Like, I'm in. Let's go. Handball all the way.
Hem is entertained.
Do you have it on, Slee, where you are by chance?
No,
okay.
I do not have it on, but I appreciate the asking the question.
It's physical. I didn't know they hit each other.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
They hit each other. They jump up and down. They're all up in each other's grill. Let's go.
They're big women. Like, these are not petite ladies. These are big, powerful women.
Yes.
I'm kind of into it now. Okay. Is there like a pro league?
You changed. Okay, you changed pretty quick here.
ESPN Plus cover this on a regular basis. I can super get into
ESPN
this.
Ocho.
Yeah, it's on the Ocho.
I'll get you into some water polo too. We got some big, powerful women over there as well.
Yeah, great. I mean, but see, here's the difference. In the pool, you understand because you played. Yeah. So you understand, like, all that's happening under the water. It's hard for me to figure. Like, I know that they try to drown each other.
Yeah,
but outside of that, I don't quite get it.
You see their entire chest come out of the water in the Olympic level because they're so talented. Yeah, no, let's go. Olympics.
I'm in. This is good stuff. I want to talk about Lincoln Riley, and Emily, don't listen because I think she may have been right, Slee. Remember when
don't ever admit that.
I know it's going to fuel the fire. It's a big decision. It's a big decision. When Lincoln Riley came to SC, there was this theory that, hey, he did not want any of the SEC. He did not want it. That he decided to go take SC, Pac-12, easier path, et cetera, right? We know the theory. Joe Castiglione, who was the AD at Oklahoma yesterday when they were introducing Oklahoma to the SEC, and he was doing his non-Deshaun Foster press conference, I think, said that, everybody that we told when we were coming to the SEC, all of my coaches were fired up, and if they weren't, they're no longer here. So that was very clearly a shot at Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley also kind of dipped his toe in the water yesterday about the possibility of not scheduling Notre Dame every year the way that they have basically from the invention of football.
Yep.
Okay? We know that he tried to get out of the LSU game this year. The idea that he's looking for the path of least resistance to the playoff / national championship might not be a bad philosophy, but I think this idea of we're going to play anybody anywhere the way that other people have is not how he views the college football landscape. I've come around to that.
Well, I think he's got tremendous amount of pressure on his shoulders whether he was trying to dodge a conference or he wasn't, he's in a conference where the big boys are there, and there's no way to, avoid that. I remember his opening statements that he had, and, he's sitting there at the Coliseum, and at the time, I think Mike Bohn was the athletic director. The president, Carol Folt, was there as well, and they were setting real expectations. Like, we're here to make things change. At the end of the day, how they get there and how Lincoln Riley succeeds, I don't. People can put it any way they want. You know what? He's avoiding this. He's avoiding that. Just win at SC, and everything will take care of itself. Right. SC is a big enough, powerful enough program that if you have success with this university, you're going to be in that college football playoff. You're going to get a chance to win a national title.
Does it not speak to the way that he's trying to do it? Does it not speak to his ethos? Does it not speak to the way that he views the world? That
Can I give you an example?
Because there are people that go the hard way, and there are people that are looking for the easy way.
Let me give you an example. And I think it's impossible that we all don't have some of this in us. Where, think of a team, any team that you want, Trav, that you root for. You're rooting for the Dodgers, okay? The Phillies are playing the Milwaukee Brewers, and the winner of that matchup is going to face the Dodgers in the playoffs. Nobody's going to tell you from the Dodgers that they'd rather play the Brewers than the Phillies, but I guarantee you there's a lot of people in there thinking in their head, and these are winners. These are people that, they don't take the easy route, blah, blah, you could all that. Yeah, I'd rather face the Milwaukee Brewers to go get to a World Series. I think that's just in our –
Okay, but what if that's not the comparison? What if the comparison is I can go play in the AAA league and then just get a shortcut to the World Series?
But that's not this. I think that's too extreme.
It was through the Pac-12.
Yes.
It was through taking LSU off the schedule. It is that if you're looking to potentially not play Notre Dame every year, which is arguably the most historic and long-running intersectional football rivalry that we've seen literally in 100 years. If it's one of them, yeah, all right, whatever. But all of them together, I think, speaks something.
To address just the Notre Dame piece of it, listen, I wish the Pac-12 still existed. I do. You and I have had that conversation. I wish it still existed. I hope Notre Dame and USC can continue to play each other. But rivalries in college football and rivalries in college, that's not being valued more than what's that check look like.
Sure.
And if Lincoln Riley is going to be judged on purely how many wins did you get and did you get us to the playoff, I think he's going to try to find a way in every possible scheme just to get there. And if Notre Dame is part of that, I don't like it. Then I understand where he's coming from. Maybe I don't respect it, but I understand where he's coming from.
There are some people that are about that life. There are some people that aren't. Lincoln Riley's not about that life. He is about setting himself up to, one, be the best coach he can possibly be. Sure, fine. Have his team go as far as they possibly can, which is, again, through routes that have least resistance, like we've been talking about. He comes from the Mike Leach coaching tree, which is we're just going to score as many points as possible. We're not fighting you down deep in the trenches. We're just scoring as many points as possible, the air raid offense, okay? But the coaches that are about that life? Ryan Day, Jim Harbaugh, when he used to coach in college football, Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, when he was coaching this area. And those guys.
Who else kind of is?
Who?
Lane Kiffin.
Those guys don't F
Brian Kelly.
They don't F with Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley isn't in that circle. He isn't in that thing because they know that he is not about that life that they are chasing, okay? So he's always going to be.
Did they have the wrong coach then?
That's a great question. No, I don't. I think he's a really good coach. I think that he has really good offensive ideas. I think he's obviously, clearly, extraordinarily good at coaching quarterbacks, which is the most important thing. There's a lot of things to check. I think he embraces the legacy to a degree of what USC football is and can be again. I think he understands all that, which is a lot of it. But all of these things, I do think, at first, I'm like, get out of here. He said he's at the highest level of the most competitive level in his sport, and he took one of the crown jewel jobs. He's not ducking anybody. But when you start to stack all of this up, when the athletic director at his former place takes a backhanded shot at you like that, all of those things together go, all right.
Then you don't fight back.
And he was asked about the Castiglione thing, and he basically said, I don't want to talk about that. Next question. Like
do you look at him differently? Do you look at him differently because of that?
I'm starting to have second thoughts about the all of this together. Our facilities aren't up to par yet. We need to do the roster. They're trying to get out of LSU. Well, Notre Dame may not be the best way to do it. And he said this thing, well, Nick Saban in Alabama, they scheduled some cupcakes here and there. I'm paraphrasing. And then everybody went back and, but he also played them, and them. And you're trying to take the thems and get them out. Right? That you want to get rid of Notre Dame so you can play San Jose State? I mean, is that what SC does now? You want to get rid of the LSU season opener big game so you can go play, I don't know, Washington State in a non-conference game now? I don't know.
Boise State.
I mean, just when you stack them all up together, one of them is not, whatever.
Yeah.
All of it? And the worst part is that Emily might have been right. That's by far the worst part of the whole thing. Factor Caps coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Steve Mason and John Ireland.
Mason and Ireland is next after Travis Lee.
You're brainwashed by Bill Plunkett.
No, you're
Bill
brainwashed.
Plunkett sends out
you're
a tweet.
An analytics brainwash
I'm looking at the actual numbers, the evidence, the proof, the data.
Guys like you are ruining the game.
Guys like Bill Plunkett are talking out their asses, and so are you.
No, you are.
I'm talking about facts.
No. The OGs of LA Sports Radio. That's Mason and Ireland.
On 710 ESPN.
Hi, I'm Garth Blumenthal, and I started Unstoppable Automotive Group by committing to deliver a world-class guest experience.
There's nothing like NHL hockey, LA Kings hockey on 710 ESPN. Welcome to the family.
Brand new partnership. We're excited to have the Kings right here, the home of the Los Angeles Kings. And Trav, now I just need an invitation to go catch a game.
You have been giving you one forever. Now you have to
cross the street. Now it's across the street.
Go Kings, go.
Go Kings, go.
The Kings are back on 710 ESPN. Believe it or not, I did pregame for the Kings 25 years ago. Damn, I'm old. Luke Robitaille, the rest of the Kings organization couldn't be more excited. Go Kings, go.
Go Kings, go. Nothing like live hockey. Nothing like seeing it in person. Nothing like watching it on TV. Nothing like listening to it on the radio. And we've got them on ESPN LA. Go Kings, go.
We're so excited. The LA Kings have found a new home right here on 710 ESPN. Can't wait to see you on the ice.
I want to congratulate the LA Kings. You are now on the greatest sports radio station in America, 710. And guess what? Now I get to be one of the ice girls at a Kings game. Go Kings, go. Go Kings, go. Go Kings, go.
and I knew you had read the book and you'd seen the movie, so I was trying to see if it had matched up with these things.
Mm-hmm.
And then Greg was like, la, 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 I don't want to hear it. And I was like, okay, great. And then he left the room, and I was like, I had assumed he had watched a couple episodes, was trying to catch up to the end. Guess what he tells me just a second ago? He has not seen a single episode, and he's waiting to binge at the end.
You have not even started?
Nope. I'm letting Emily talk.
Okay.
And I'm saying that, no, if you want to avoid spoilers, you watch as it goes along. If it comes out, and it's all out, and you're waiting, weeks afterwards to go binge it, that you deserve to get it spoiled. So my statement is, Greg deserves to have this spoiled for him, and I should have everyone tweet at Greg what the ending is.
Okay, that's just mean.
Yeah,
you went a little bit too far.
Now that's happening either way, with or without.
Exactly.
You
just ruined presumed innocent for me, no matter what happens. That was
please
cruel.
don't tag me.
I know many people are going to do that now.
When I get to you, you can have your piece.
Yeah,
Travis, please start.
It's Cap. The way that we consume media is so different than it used to be when everything was kind of on broadcast television or cable. If it came on, let's say, a Thursday night, you had basically until the end of the weekend to maybe get caught up because it's like, okay, we got to keep going. But now there's so much. There's so many different things. We got so many that you can't get to it in time. You're the only person I know
it's
that
1 hour a weekend.
I understand that, but it's not everybody watches TV the way that you do. And I think you and I are on very opposite ends of this. You consume a lot. I consume very little. But I think there has to be a happy medium for somebody like Greg who hasn't seen it yet, wants to see it. And from what you've told me, the way that it unfolds is the whole point. And if you give him a spoiler, that kind of would ruin it for him. So I'm Cap. I'm protecting your turf, Greg.
All right, I'm going to Alan next.
Yes,
Alan's
yes.
next.
You can go to Jorge after that.
Listen, Cap. M. Look, give the man a sec. And by the way,
it's 1 hour a week, guys.
Okay, but here's the thing. There is a lot of shows that you guys have told me about that even if I start watching, Trav, you might have watched a show a year ago and you're like, I think you should watch this.
Yeah.
I just don't want then to be in a conversation where everybody's now talking about that show. Once it, we've kind of had this before. When we were doing Better Call Saul, Trev, you didn't even you just said, hey, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Something shocking happens at the end. I'm now waiting for the shocking thing to happen. Trev didn't even try to go out of his way to ruin something, but he kind of ruined something. I'm with the Cap portion of here. If you can avoid it, it would be greatly appreciated.
Jorge?
You watch too much TV. Travis, you watch some TV. I watch none. I watch 2 kids, and I don't have time for TV. I watch the Baby First channel.
And Morocco, Argentina.
And Baby Shark.
It's all bluey.
And locked on
and I
handball.
have to make deals like, hey, listen, kid, I'll give you a lollipop if I can watch the Argentina game. That's the negotiations that go down. But, Greg, watch it on your own terms, my man.
Yeah. All right, Greg, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you for all of it. Yeah, basically, look, it's 100% Cap. I don't have time. I don't have time to watch every single game. I watch Dodger baseball every single night, and it goes till 9:30 or 10 at night, and then I go to bed. So to find time to actually sit down for that 1 hour a week is very, very difficult.
So now
and
you
on
can
the
do
week,
8 hours in one day in November?
I don't watch TV at every moment of my life. I just not something that I do. And on the weekends, I have my daughter, I have my girlfriend. We have things that we go do. I don't just sit and watch TV all day. So to find that hour and to be able to binge it, I don't want to do it. My 2 minutes is not up.
Let me go to her side real quick. When is it okay for you to dude, it's been long enough, you need to be up to speed?
Like years. You don't
years?
Ever, well, no,
it can't be years.
No, okay, look. Al said it just then, is that there's some things, you're not going to spoil Better Call Saul for me just because I haven't watched it yet.
I'm not going to do it, but the idea of us
don't
not
do
being able to talk about something.
Okay. A week.
Yeah, okay.
A week you can talk about it.
So you're going to be able to find 8 hours in the next week to watch this, Greg?
No, if you talking on the show, I can turn it off in my office, so I'm not listening to it. It's spoiler alerts.
He turns it off for other reasons that have nothing to do with it.
Hey, Greg, here's a way to protect yourself right now. Go to your privacy settings on your Twitter, and you can put up a block this phrase.
That was so mean, Em.
That
was so mean.
And block the phrase presumed innocent.
That was
that you don't
beyond mean to do to me.
Greg, here's another thing you could do.
Look, I'm already getting
Deactivate your account.
notifications.
Are they coming in?
Yeah. I don't want to know what they say now. I'm not going to look at my notifications now. That was so cruel. I'm going to find something to do evil to you.
Okay,
it's
go ahead.
Happen.
Go ahead.
I don't know what it is right now, but it'll come.
King.
I want you to wait. I want you to just wait for it.
You are my boss. You can do a lot of things.
I was going to give you Arsenal tickets, too. I was going to hook you up with Arsenal tickets. Not anymore.
Go off, King. All right, so every year they do an NFL Top 100 where players individually rank the top, usually 20 players. Honestly, when I worked at NFL Films, I used to read everybody's paper. I was one of the interns.
Are they anonymous?
They're anonymous, but you get them from this is the Bears stack, and then you see everyone in the Bears stack, and they'll rank who they think are the top 20 players in the league, and they kind of make a whole top 100 list. And obviously, Patrick Mahomes is number 1 on this list this year. And they go around, they kind of have people interview for it and talk about each player. And so Jamar Chase was asked to talk about Patrick Mahomes, and this is what he said.
And who's the number 1 player on the top 100 this year?
On the what? I'm not saying him. I give credit when it's due, but I'm not saying his name.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. I'm not saying his name, brother. I'm sorry. Joe Burrow. I'm not saying that guy's name.
All right, so he's basically treating Patrick Mahomes like he's Voldemort. If you say his name, he'll come out of the room and
He
he'll
who shall
know
not be mentioned.
Exactly. So this is a correct response from Jamar Chase. This is something he should do. Greg, fact or cap?
Fact. Absolutely, you should. You back up your quarterback and say Joe Burrow. He also basically said Patrick Mahomes without saying Patrick Mahomes because he's saying, look, I'm not going to say the actual guy's name. So he's giving him credit without saying the name. Yeah, he did it the right way. I love it. And I love that it was petty.
Al?
This is something he should do, Cap. We all know who the best player in the world is. Nobody has to.
I love it.
You don't have to sugarcoat it. You don't have to dance around it. It's not disrespectful to Joe Burrow. The best player in the world is Patrick Mahomes, and he has 3 Super Bowls before the age of 26 to show that. If it was a true, a real controversy, Burrow's got 2, he's got 2, something like that, maybe that's a different conversation. But you cannot ask one NFL player who the best player in the world is without them saying Patrick Mahomes. So I think it's unnecessary. We all know the answer.
Trav?
It's Cap. For the reason that Slee said, that there was a time when Peyton Manning and Tom Brady were looked at neck and neck.
Yeah,
right?
it's a
They're
great
just
example.
and if you want to, hey man, I'm riding for my guy. I'm a Manning guy. Okay, that's cool. And then it became very clear that this is not equal. One guy had a far better career than the other guy.
3 to 4 years.
And that's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the best. There isn't a close second. And to pretend that it's not is goofy. I get sticking for your teammate. I respect that. But that's one of those, yeah, he's pretty good. Can we talk about Joe? It's one of those, right?
He did. He said, I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah. He's cool. Let's talk about Joe. Do that,
Jorge?
Just say his name. Just like he said, just give him his credit. Just say his name and move on with it.
All right, so Michael Jr. was in the Minneapolis airport, and he came across a interesting piece of merchandise you can buy if you're a Vikings fan. So it was side by side, basically a his and hers option for this T-shirt. So one was optimistic since 1961, and the other one says disappointed since 1961. Obviously, whatever way you want to think about your Vikings at that point in time. So my statement is, you consider yourself to be optimistic. Al, fact or cap?
I think I lean towards fact on this. I try, and we can all get in our own heads. We can all kind of have a negative outlook on things. But I think for the most part, I think there's a lot of things that all right, that glass, is it half empty or half full? I'm going to look at it as half full, so I'll go fact on that.
Trav?
My friend Newey Scruggs, who is a sports anchor in Dallas, Texas, said, man, I've heard of glass half full and glass half empty, but yours is full of poison and chipped. So, no, I do not consider myself a positive, optimistic person.
You're a curmudgeon.
I wish that I could. I am very optimistic about some things, but generally speaking, not so much. I am optimistic about the love of my family, and that's about it.
The future of your children.
Yeah, the future. But, well, maybe
I
a little less
don't
so
want to
right
go
there.
that far.
Yeah, I know that there are people in the world that love and care about me. Other than that, we're screwed.
So I think in life, it's fact that I am a very optimistic, positive person. When it comes to sports, I tend to look for the negative, and I do that a lot.
It's
with
more fun.
It is more fun. I want to find the problems and see if I can fix the problems or point out the problems. So I'm not full homer, because I am definitely a homer for teams like the Lakers and the Dodgers. Sure. But I don't want to be full homer and be able to talk about the bad things. So I do when it comes to sports and work, I do go towards the negative, pessimistic side. But overall in life, I'm optimistic.
Jorge?
Travis, you're a Mexico fan now. It's half empty
Yeah,
every time.
See,
it's half empty every time. As a Niner fan, it's half empty. We're there. Mexico's there for that 5th game, but we never get there. Niners get to Super Bowl. They don't win it, so it's half empty for me when it comes to sports.
Emily, how would you answer your own question?
I think that I have grown more pessimistic over time.
Being with Travis?
I think that I've still, generally, with my own life, I think I'm optimistic. Like, I'm optimistic that things will work out for me.
Yes.
Look, none of us that are in this business right now and at ESPN Los Angeles can be pessimistic and still be here. Like, you have to be optimistic in life to be in this position. It's just not possible to get here any other way.
Oh, screw you.
All right, you're out of here.
Factor Cap is brought to you by Joseph S. Normand. You have many choices in a legal team, but family, always, as I mentioned, family always comes first. Call 213-747-2000. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand. That number again, 213-747-2000. That's 213-747-2000. Or you can go online at normandlegal.com. Nourmand, normandlegal.com. KCP throwing a little late strays at the Lakers. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
We saw it yesterday. We got a chance to have pizza come in the house. Basically, they're coming in about once a week, and they got a really, really great offer going on right now. A couple different offers. First off, it's Chicken Wing Week. So yesterday, if you were listening, I was showing it right up there on YouTube. 75 cents for each boneless wing and $1.50 each traditional wing. You got to use that promo code ESPNLA10 for $10 off your next $40 order. By the way, in addition to that, they're introducing Pizza Hut's new tavern-style pizza. So go thinner, go crispier, and go bolder with incredible new tavern recipes. My favorite, that pesto margarita, absolutely delicious. Right now, get a medium one-topping tavern-style pizza starting at just $12. Order now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com.
Did you know it can now take up to 11 weeks on average to hire for an open position? Look, if you're hiring for a growing business, stop waiting and start using ZipRecruiter. 3.8 million businesses have come to ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs, and so should you. Right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Just as every point matters, every detail counts in our meticulously crafted vehicles. Experience luxury at the top of its game. Welcome to Cadillac of Beverly Hills, the #1 Cadillac dealer in the Western region for the 3rd year in a row. Come and check out the incredible selection of new and pre-owned vehicles today at our showroom, 8767 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills, and at CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Cap, and I want to talk to you about my favorite app, Prize Picks. I want you to download the Prize Picks app, use my code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. They will match your first deposit 100% up to $100. So if you put in 100, they'll put in 100, you'll have 200, and then you, me, and 5 million other people are all going to play Prize Picks. It is the best time now because we're moving into the summer sports. So this is America's #1 fantasy sports app, and it is game on. And so as we go into the summer, basketball season is behind us. But wait a second, is it? Because I'm going to play WNBA every night. I'm going to play baseball every night, and I'm going to try my best to turn just $10 into $1,000 because I'm going to play all 6. I'm going to build my lineup. It takes like 60 seconds, and you're going to build your lineup. All you have to do is pick your favorite players, pick more or less on their player projections, and let's go have a good time, and let's all be winners. Prize Picks. Download the app, use my code CAPPY, and let's all play on Prize Picks.
Why'd the kid jump off the boat?
I don't know. Why?
Peer pressure.
Oh. Good one, Ned.
Ned isn't funny, but Ned owns a boat, and you don't. So every time Ned tells another one of his unfunny boat puns, you're going to laugh loud and keep on laughing until you get a boat of your own.
A pier where you put a boat.
Yeah, I get it.
And when you do get a boat of your own, make sure you save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. How often do you compare yourself to others? It's easy to envy friends' lives on social media when you only see the good parts. But comparison is the thief of joy. Online therapy helps you focus on what you want, not what others have. Because your best life is better than the idea of someone else's. Visit betterhelp.com/Carlin today to get 10% off your first month.
This is the Mid-Morning Spectacular live from LA Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
We are starting a movement. Getting texts from my friends saying that I made my kids watch the handball. This is awesome. I see. This is how a revolution in sports starts, Al. We're gonna make the United States the handball mecca of the world. I don't know you said France is number 1 seed?
Yeah, France is number 1. Norway is right behind them. I think the Netherlands
are we in
top
it?
5. No, I think this is similar to soccer. Where we're just nowhere in it.
Yeah, we have a team, but we're not going to win.
Yeah.
We need to build our own golden generation of handball players so we can really compete at the highest level. Especially here in Southern California, we have some of the best athletes in the world.
Sure.
Why can't we put some of those athletes to go play some handball? You know, concussions happen.
That's a good question.
You know, injuries happen. What if we took everybody that's playing soccer, put them into handball?
I always got
Who's the president of the USA Handball
sure we have
Association?
I remember the thing about like U.S. Soccer League. Hey, wait until the next generation of LeBron Jameses pick soccer. Why would they do that? Why wouldn't the next LeBron James go play basketball? It just seems like, hey, wait until the second coming of Tyreek Hill plays soccer. Well, why wouldn't the next Tyreek Hill be a football player?
Hassan Mustafa is currently the looks like he's the International Handball Federation president. So I went straight to he's basically
you got an email address? I'd like to volunteer my services. There's got to be
the
some
Adam Silver.
play-by-play. Is there play-by-play? There's got to be.
Well, yeah.
I need to talk to Mace. Mace knows the Olympic people.
Yeah. I think the sport will only stay in the dark if we keep it in the dark. We got to keep on talking and keep up this energy all year round. Okay, guys?
That's right. We're gonna. What did you make of KCP, Al, talking about how he felt that the Lakers should have beat the Nuggets last year? I'll play this for you. He said this on Draymond Green's podcast, talking about last year's playoff matchup against LA.
You know how like towards the playoff guys get their rest, but I feel like that's what we spent most of our energy and like time. You know what I'm saying, trying to get that first place. You know what I'm saying, playing catch up, and then like we get to the playoffs, we have no gas, you know. Like we felt like the Lakers should have beat us. Like we was down every game. They definitely should. At least 10 to the highest maybe, but 20 something.
So by the way, I don't, it doesn't mean anything that the Lakers were in all these games, and I don't think that was a secret. I think a lot of people are talking about, well, look at the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals a year ago. They got swept, but if you looked at the actual point differential, Lakers were in every game. The problem this past round, or this past playoff run, Game 2 was the one where, like, all right, well, if they had any chance and they're up 20, they have to win Game 2, and they lost that game. There is no – I don't really think there's a silver lining to it, but I think it's interesting to hear KCP, who's obviously a key player for them, right in the mix of it, right in the thick of it, and basically saying, yeah, we should have lost to the Lakers. That I still believe good teams find ways to win, bad teams find ways to lose. And at least between those two franchises, maybe there is a mental thing that was going on. Maybe one coach basically knew that when the dust settled, if it comes down to me and the other coach playing chess, Michael Malone was going to win that. But it is, listen, give it what it is. And what it is another player from an opposing team thinking that the Lakers were better than the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, I keep coming back to this new theory. Like, what was it, Austin Rivers yesterday kind of floated this out there that the Lakers have AD and LeBron, so they're a lot closer than it may appear at first glance. And KCP saying on Draymond's podcast that, hey, man, I thought that the Lakers should have beat us last year. Okay, cool. Then why does none of this stuff happen? Right? Why were you in 7th place again? Why did you lose in 5 games in the first round? Why is everybody thinking that you're going to be worse this year than you were a year ago? Why'd you fire your coach you know what I mean? And not just this coach, but the one before that, and the one before that, and the one before that. Like, if everything is, hey, we're just inches away, why does it never happen? You know, and the season 2 years ago where they got to the conference finals was a nice run through the playoffs, but it was a very specific run through the playoffs that it kind of broke exactly the if you're going to kind of pick a path, that's kind of the path that you would have picked. John Morant was hurt. The Grizzlies weren't quite ready to do that next big thing. Good matchup with the Warriors where the Lakers are a lot bigger, and then you lost.
Okay, do you agree with this? If it's coming from – it's different if it's coming – if Rui Hachimura was saying we are better than we should have won that series, then I think everything you're talking about – it's not that gets taken away, but you do hear a lot of players – or former players saying, yeah, you know what, Lakers match up well against Denver. Or, yeah, there's like just the mere fact that it's coming from KCP, I think it holds a little bit of weight. But I don't think it means anything in the big scheme of things. I don't think the Lakers are – if they go play the Denver Nuggets again, and by the way, KCP's gone, so he's not on that team again, no one's going to pick the Lakers. It doesn't mean that the Lakers can't beat them, but you just kind of look at, why is it going to change – they played each other. I think there was a stretch where Denver had won 10 or 11 in a row, maybe even got to 12, and then finally Lakers won one game before it was a gentleman's sweep. Even the final game when Lakers got eliminated, they had a lead. They had a chance to win that game. Jamal Murray again ends it. That I think there's also the mental component of that the Nuggets obviously have the Lakers they have their number. Let's put it that way.
I'm even expanding it beyond just the Nuggets. I'm talking about just kind of this collective idea that they're better than their results indicate. Why? You know, go back to the most basic Bill Parcells quote of all time. You are what your record says you are. What you are is a 7th place team. Mm-hmm. That, you know, maybe you match up well with this team and not as well with another team, and maybe that's a slight advantage here or there, but again, I don't think Laker fans are beating the drum that, hey, we just need a good match. They're trying to win titles. They're trying to get as close to it as they possibly can, and they're not. You know, that, well, it could have beat Denver. Okay, fine. Are you close to no? You know what I mean? Like,
no, it's a tough one to argue.
It's not this, well, hey, they're a lot closer. No, you are where you finish. And where you've been finishing far more often than not is towards the back half of the playoff field. To scrambling to get into the playoff field. This year, you might even be a little further down in that playoff field. Maybe it's about the same. If I had to place a bet, I'd say it's going to be right about where it's been for the last several years, where you're somewhere between 6 and 10, and you're fighting like crazy in that last couple of weeks of the season to avoid the play-in. Maybe you got to go do it. I haven't seen anything to lead me to believe that it's going to be differently.
And I think if you, like you just said, if you're placing a bet, why would anyone else bet differently to that? Why would anyone pick the Lakers over Dallas, Minnesota, Denver, go down the list? Really where they're at, and it's going to be the same conversation that we've had these last couple of years. Are they going to be are they going to have to use all their energy towards the end of the season just to get in? That's what it's been like the last couple of years, and I don't think obviously anything different has happened to think otherwise.
We've got our Thursday snake draft coming up next, and this could get heated. It involves tacos, it involves taco trucks, and Jorge. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
At Carden Alleyway Hyundai, the sizzling summer sales event is on now. Lease a new 2024 Hyundai Elantra SCL for only $249 a month plus tax for 36 months on approved credit. Plus get peace of mind driving with America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty and the Hyundai Assurance Program. Carden Alleyway Hyundai just off the 91 freeway in the Corona Auto Center or CardenAlleyWayHyundai.com. Lease for $249 plus tax. License and fee to well-qualified buyers. 36-month lease. 10K miles per year. $34.99 due at signing. Not all buyers will qualify. Down payment may be required. Subject to HMF credit approval. Expires 07/31/2024.
Over 20 years ago, the first batch of Tito's handmade vodka was distilled in the heart of Austin, Texas. Since then, its roots have stayed put, and its vodka continues to be made on the same land where Tito built his dream. A distillery called Mockingbird that houses a simple vodka with a spirit the size of Texas and as good as the day it was born. Learn more about the Tito's story at Tito'sVodka.com. That's Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
It's Travis Rogers, Alan Sliwa.
Day has the same person dropped off food at your house twice in one day. I don't know.
Great question.
Travis and Sliwa.
On 710 ESPN.
All right, guys, it is time for our snake draft. And so in honor...
It's a snake draft.
It's a snake draft. In honor of LA Times, they released a 101 taco spots all across LA. And, you know, it's a very extensive list, kind of spans a lot of places all around LA, which we all love to go and be a part of. And so we are going to draft things that you can order at a taco spot. I'm talking like taco stands or taco trucks. Anything you could order off of these menus is on the board here. So our order is Alan's first, then Travis.
Oh, top pick, Slee.
Yeah, very important.
Finally got it.
So it's Alan, Travis, Jorge, Emily. 12 picks total, 3 each, because that's all that can fit on the graphic, right, Parker?
Si.
Thank you.
And I chose the music, by the way. So in case you guys are wondering, I chose it.
Also, Team USA Women's Soccer is going off against Zambia right now. They were just in the penalty box at 18, so they're knocking on the door. Anyway, Alan, you're up first.
Okay, let's just get this one off the board right out the gate. I just want a classic carne asada taco.
Oh, okay. I'm turning off your mic, man.
That's the right pick.
Come on.
That's the right pick. You're
Classic.
good, Slee. You're
let's
good,
let's not screw around here. I want the classic carne asada taco. And let's just let's not make things let's not make it complicated. I want some onion on there. I want some fresh cilantro on there. I want some lime on there. You want a little guacamole or avocado on there. I just want the classic corn tortilla carne asada taco.
Double hold, right?
Oh, you got to have double. By the way, everything that falls off,
right, exactly.
You just use the second tortilla for.
Exactly. No, that's what I would have picked had I had the first pick. That's exactly right.
What a waste.
No, it's
a waste of a pick. Oh, my goodness.
Jorge's like, that's the Anthony Bennett of NBA draft picks.
You know what it is? Hold on. Let me think about what it is.
You know who's the number one pick this year?
It's not LeBron James because it's once in a lifetime, but it is the most solid. You're never going to regret it.
Can I give you one? It's Tim Duncan.
It's Tim Duncan.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it
Tim
is.
Duncan.
Perfect.
I use the
Perfect.
He's the only one left that uses the backboard. Right? It's Tim Duncan.
But he's won championships.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, we picked exactly the right guy. For 20 years, you had exactly the right player.
Rock.
Yeah,
that's funny.
All right, Trav, you're up.
I'm picking the exact same thing. We're just going to get a slightly larger tortilla and roll it up into a tube. I want a carne asada burrito.
Oh, get out!
Phenomenal.
Oh, come
Phenomenal.
on.
I
Jesus.
want all the things that Slee wants in there. I might put a little salsa verde in there, maybe a little bit of pico de gallo.
Some rice?
I don't like rice in my burritos.
Oh, really?
If it's in there, I'm not going to scoop it out. A little bit of beans, that's fine. But quite frankly, I want the meat. I want the salsa. I want the lime. I want the cilantro and onions. And since Slee took tacos, We'll go flour tortilla, roll it up into a burrito, and let's go.
When are we going?
Yeah.
All right, are you gonna do carne asada nachos next?
Yeah, you know what? Yes, just for
From
the bit.
Disneyland.
You know what? Just for the bit, yes. Across the street, they have carne asada fries, and they're delicious.
Those are terrific.
So, carne asada fries, Parker, put those in. Throw the
Okay,
tacos.
I
Let's
feel
stick
like
with the theme
I
here.
feel like Jorge is he's leaning a little bit more towards carne asada lately.
He got it at Disneyland, for goodness
Yep.
sake.
The
Like
worst
of
version of it.
all the versions of
Okay,
carne
yeah,
asada
okay.
in Southern California, Disneyland? Like, I like Disneyland, but
It's magical.
Mickey Mouse made it himself.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Has a pixie dust.
the little Tinkerbell, yeah.
All right, so I got 2 picks here. So I'm gonna go also another meat. I am not gonna get carne asada, unfortunately. I do not want to pick another carne asada.
It's
off
time.
This
It's
list.
time to take it off the list.
And then I'm gonna do a beverage. So I think I'm gonna get the number 1 pick of beverage. So thankfully I got that, guys. All right, so I'm gonna go with birria. I'm gonna get birria as my first pick because that's my go-to meat when I go to get a taco stand, a taco truck. I love birria. It's my favorite kind of taco. So
Yeah.
birria is my number 1 choice for my
Great
meat.
choice. I like that. I have a quick question for you, Jorge. Is birria traditionally made with goat, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to try that. I want to try that.
You should.
Have you had it goat, M?
I've had both versions. I prefer beef, but
Okay.
goat is also great.
Yeah.
All right, and then I'm gonna go a Mexican Coke. Like a glass bottle
Great
Mexican
pick.
Coke is my second pick. I think I'm gonna
Great
win this
pick.
one. All right, Jorge, your second pick.
Okay, I'm gonna go with one of my favorites. One of my favorite tacos is it's carnitas. Carnitas, either at Central Market here, or we can go, your spot that you took us
El
to,
Momo.
El Momo.
Yeah.
And they make it on the daily. So
That's
carnitas
a really good
taco,
pick.
and then you could put, your cilantro, your cebolla,
Yeah.
and your salsa verde with a little bit of lime,
Yep.
and we're good to go.
Do we just all
I'm
like
sure-
onions,
by the way, I'm
cilantro,
sure
and
nobody-
lime? Like, you put it on anything, and it's going to be pretty good.
I'm sure nobody's driving around right now saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna go have some tacos for."
When you go to
for
Central
lunch.
Market, they give you a free sample of this stuff
Yes.
too. So they give you a free taco.
Who
It's
doesn't
bomb.
like a free
Yeah,
sample? My turn?
Yes.
I got a little bit of strategy here that I need to figure out, and I think I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to take al pastor taco.
Okay.
Because I don't have a taco on my board. I really like al pastor. I'm going to get the chunks of pineapple in there, and I like it when they shave it off that thing. That's really, that makes you feel just good when they take
the
that.
trompo.
Yeah. What's the thing they call the trompo? Is the spit, right? The big stack.
It's the thing that's spinning.
Right.
Yeah.
What is, like that giant razor blade thing they use to shave it though? My
Oh, yeah,
God.
that thing's nice.
That thing's, it's like a giant Mach 5, but instead of shaving your
20.
face, it's Mach
It's almost like, when you're passing by a Krispy Kreme and it has the hot sign on,
Mach
you gotta go in.
5.
It's
Yeah.
like you see taco stand, they have the El Pastor, you have to go in.
So I want my al pastor corn tortillas. And if the al pastor is right, as LZ used to say, it doesn't need a ton of other stuff. They're like it's very juicy, it's very moist, the pineapple, and it can kind of just tortillas and meat and pineapple
where's
that
a,
up.
You know where's a good spot for pastor? If you go to Dodger Stadium, there's usually on
Knott's
Sunset.
Berry Farm?
No, Dodger Stadium.
Magic Mountain.
There's a spot in the corner on Sunset, I believe, and
Okay.
they have the trompo, big trompo. We went there with Mace and Beto before we went to the
Oh,
game.
okay.
Oh, delicious.
I'm
Good
in
stuff.
on that. So I'll take my al pastor. Slee, you get 2.
Bro, let me just say this. Very two underrated things. The Mach 5 and Knott's Berry Farm. That's good work out of you. Okay, so if I'm correct here, I could still go burrito if I'm going a different type of burrito.
Yes, you can still go
Okay.
burrito.
Listen, I just got to go. This is going to be very, very personal. I've told you guys this every single time. The California burrito is a staple in San Diego, California. Growing up, that's all we had was a California burrito. So I got to put the California burrito in there. And then my last pick, which I guess I'm not too shocked, but it is my go-to drink if I go to a taco shop. It's horchata. Just simple as that. Horchata is my pick. Trav, your game theory you did.
I got
I
it.
already knew you were going to get it
Yeah.
because you've already said you don't like horchata.
I don't.
If I get my carne asada taco, my California burrito, and my horchata, I'm good. I'm good as gold.
Okay. Those are classic, solid, good picks. This could be very much like the other drafts where nobody has a bad list because so far everybody's off to a good start. I was thinking about drinks. I have a taco. I have a burrito. I need something to drink.
I know which one.
It's his little hat tip to my friend Jorge Briones. I'm going to take a Jarritos.
Okay, cool.
Lime.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. The lime
Limon.
Jarritos is so good. And now here's the thing. it's a little. I love soda, but I know that it's not a super great choice typically. But that stuff is just on the edge of way too sweet, but it just pulls up short of it. I love that stuff. I'll take that.
All right, Jorge, what are you going to take? What carne asada version
No,
are you
no
taking
carne
next?
asada for
Carne
me
asada
on this
quesadilla?
No.
Sure.
No, I'm going to go with, I need a drink too. I think I'm going to go with Jamaica, hibiscus.
Okay.
Yeah, you get a nice one. There's one in Guisados. Guisados is a good taco spot too. They made handmade tortillas. They have something called something palmeiro. Well, anyway, it's like Jamaica and lemonade mixed together. It's pretty good. So I'll go with hibiscus,
Sounds pretty
Jamaica.
good.
Yeah.
Oof.
Em.
I'm so happy because I got my top 3.
Oh,
I
you
got my
did?
top
Got
3
'em.
things I
Good for
wanted
you.
because I was gonna go like a moriscos, like a shrimp, fish, taco
Great choice.
situation. Like if I can find a morisco stand, if I can find a birria taco stand, because they aren't always everywhere. Not every stand has birria, not every stand has moriscos. So versions of moriscos is my favorite.
If you were taking, like, if drinks were off the list, ceviche would have slid into that third spot for me. Like shrimp ceviche with the little cilantro, tomato, onions.
Yep.
All the cilantro, tomato, onion, and lime. Like, that's the theme through all of this stuff. But that's a great choice.
I spent as much time sitting at the salsa bar, so I was ready to go salsa bar as well. Just let me go ahead and grab everything. But I think we keeping it the food items, the drink
What's your go-to,
items.
red or green?
Green for me.
Yeah, for me too.
9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
I kind of like red, but it just again, I'm not like super picky about it.
Yep.
So let me be specific here. I understand this is bad table manners. Okay, so put my poor table etiquette aside. Is this weird because there's a Mexican spot that we go to near my house that has the best salsa verde it's my favorite version of salsa verde.
Can I guess where you're going with this?
Yes, go ahead.
Are you loading up for 2 weeks?
No, but I take more than I need typically. Okay, so if I need 3 of those little cups, I'll take 5. So I got a couple extra ones. I kind of drink it on the side. That's what Susan looks at me like I'm from Mars when I do. She's like, "You're drinking the salsa?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's
Wait, what do you mean
terrific.
you're drinking it? What? It
comes in those little plastic cups.
Yeah.
Right. So I take the cap off and I take a sip of it.
But why?
Because it's delicious.
So you put it on your taco.
I
Take a bite
put
and
it on
then
the
take a
taco,
drink?
eat the
Okay,
tacos,
cool.
and then when I'm done with all the food, I got 2 little cups left, and I drink the salsa.
Because I thought you were doing this. Like if it was French fries, I thought you were stuffing French fries, and then you
No.
put
Like
the ketchup
I
on.
finish my food, my burrito or taco or whatever, a ceviche, it's gone. I've eaten everything. I still have 2 or 3 cups of the salsa
you
verde
just
left,
shoot it?
and I sip it. It's sip it. It's delicious. Is that crazy?
Okay, I was going to say, tell us what the question is, because I've never heard of that before. And if I saw you across the table, or you and I went and got lunch together, and when you're done, you're taking 3 salsa shots.
They're not shots. Now, I'm being specific.
I'd be a little.
I'm not shooting it.
I'd be like, "What's going
Is
on
that
here?"
weird?
Trav?
No,
But
Jorge
like, if you
says
drank
no.
the consomme, that's not weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Also, another low-key taco thing. I love the radishes. Come with some of the birria and like some mariscos.
Can I be specific?
What?
They got to be cold.
Oh yeah. Cold radishes.
Like
yeah.
if they've been sitting out and they're kind of room temperature. No. They need to be cold and super crunchy.
It's almost like the celery and the carrots when you have hot wings. Is that you have the radishes with like sometimes more spicy.
Nice
tacos.
palate cleanser.
And then another thing about these taco stands or whatever, they're not cheap when it comes to like if you ask for extra limes, they give you limes. If you ask for like grilled onions, they'll give you the grilled onions aluminum. They're not cheap with their salsas and all that stuff.
No.
So if you want to take more than 3 little cups of salsa, dude, just ask. They'll give you like.
We
another
need to go
5.
do something next week. This was this draft has sparked an itch in my brain that needs to be scratched a little
Next
sooner
week, I'm going after the
than later.
show, my man. I'm going right here.
Yeah, you're not a bad idea. All right, Jim Harbaugh is giving interviews. Jim Harbaugh's talking, and even though I'm a Rams fan, Slee, they're kind of turning my head a little bit. I'm really interested in what that guy's got going. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. But let's talk, before we talk about that, Slee, let's talk about our new friend, Joseph S. Normand, an old friend of mine that's back, and I'm thrilled to do it because when my son Bob got into a little bit of an accident, I called Joe, and Joe took care of everything. And I know that this gets thrown around a lot, but it felt like this. It felt like Joe treated my son like it was his son, that he made sure that he was treated like family, and that's what they do at the law offices of Joseph S. Normand.
We never want you to be in this position or situation, but this is something that they do. You can schedule a free consultation at any time, and I think that's the best way to handle it. We know Joseph S. Normand can help you if you're in a predicament or situation. I'm going to throw out the phone number here. Very, very easy to remember. It's 213-747-2000. 213-747-2000. Make sure that if you're in a predicament or situation, go to normandlegal.com. If you want to go to the website, you can get your free consultation there. And hopefully you're never in this spot.
Yep.
But if you are, obviously Travis and I are here to tell you that's the spot to be
and
at.
let me throw this in there, too. In that predicament, that spot that Al's talking about, the insurance company, they do not have your best interest in mind. Just keep that. They're going to tell you stuff, and you're like, yeah, that sounds like. They don't. Call Joe. Call Joe. The insurance company is not your friend in that situation. 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. Next Gen. Heat and Plumbing Company of SoCal sports fans. That's right. Next Gen is the absolute best in the biz with thousands of 5-star reviews and happy customers. Right now, get an $88 drain cleaning and they'll add in a free plumbing camera inspection. So, if you're sick of dealing with a slow drain, call 833-3-NEXTGEN. That's 833-3-NEXGEN and say goodbye to your AC heating and plumbing problems.
NEXGEN. Call 833-3-NEXTGEN.
Hey guys, it's Sedona here. You know it's hard to find a good dentist for your kids, someone who they can trust and enjoy going to the dentist with. Luckily, we found Children's Dental Fun Zone. With 17 locations across Southern California, Children's Dental Fun Zone specializes in children's dentistry and orthodontics. With state-of-the-art equipment and personal attention your children deserve. To book your child's next appointment, visit their website, cdfzone.com. That's cdfzone.com. Or call them at 800-717-KIDS. That's 800-717-KIDS.
I have to say thank you. Yesterday at the carne asada, I was the star of my family gathering.
Me? I'm just the butcher at Northgate Gonzalez Market.
You're the one who gave me the best advice for cooking the espaldilla. And the familia, they loved it.
Thank you.
I will never forget. Cook it over medium-high heat for 15 minutes and use the thermometer. Now, I make the best espaldilla in the family. And it's all thanks to you.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be able to help.
You really are the mero mero of the carne asada.
At Northgate Gonzalez Market, los mero meros of the carne asada have the best tips for a perfect carne asada. Preparation, the selection of meats, or any side dishes, whatever you need, lo tienen. They have it. Find a store near you at northgatemarket.com. That's northgatemarket.com. Northgate Gonzalez Market, every visit has a story.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist?
Huh, you don't say.
Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This is the Mid-Morning Spectacular live from LA Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
All right.
happened?
Team USA is up 1-0 over Zambia after they had a bunch of shots that hit the crossbar, hit over, hit a defender. They've been knocking on the door for the past couple minutes, but they finally got one through, and it has been onside. Nice from Trinity Rodman, I believe. So shout out to Team USA. They're kicking some butt already.
Do the women in the Olympics have this? I know the men is like U20, right?
So no, this is the real team. This is the full team, and yeah, it was Trinity Rodman that got that goal in for Team USA.
All right, are we favored to win this?
Yes, we are definitely favored to.
Unlike
beat Zambia.
handball.
Unlike
handball, we're big underdogs.
I'm going to know the entire handball team on site. I'm going to know it like I know Kevin Durant.
Team USA.
Oh, that's her.
Team USA women's soccer, though, is the lowest ranked they've been in decades. They're at 5. They're the 5th ranked team, and this is the lowest they've ever been in decades.
Aren't we usually like the heavy favorites?
Usually 1, 2. If not, we've been 1 for a long time.
They're already back in the box.
They are kind of in a rebuilding era, similar to USC. See, there you got it again. I'm good with these Olympic transitions to what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
We're terrible at it.
Yeah. Okay. So with the idea of SC being in a rebuild sleeve, first of all, there are certain places that I don't know if that's ever okay to say out loud, right? That Alabama doesn't rebuild, Notre Dame doesn't rebuild. I know that sometimes you have to, but you can't really throw it out there like that. You need to, hey, we're always competing for this, the title, whatever it may be. What's peculiar to me is it does seem like Lincoln Riley is taking an inordinate amount of heat for a guy that has been in a place for 2 years. One of the years, by any measure, was very successful. And the other year it was disappointing for sure, but it wasn't a complete catastrophe. It was just not very good. And you're going into a new league. You're breaking in a new quarterback. The guy that you had was the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. There's going to be certain learning curve that goes a certain way. You're going to be worse at quarterback than you were a year ago. That's almost a guarantee. And yet there's all this, I don't know, SC, they got LSU, they've got the Big Ten. Lincoln Riley could be in some trouble. That just seems false to me. That seems way, way premature to me.
When you say premature, you're talking about him actually not being the coach.
I'm not. Look, I really can't envision a scenario where he gets canned. And
not this year.
Not this year. But it's even in the ether is weird to me. Like, hey, man, he better get going. Like that's even a thought seems incredibly premature.
Okay, but here's why. I mean, he had a lot of success at Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And he's taken over a program where they basically said, what was his contract? Did we ever get the deal of what his contract was?
A lot for a long time.
A lot for a long time. He's going to – part of it was, too, they're buying him a house or whatever all the details were. He came – 2. He came in as –
I really do think it was 2.
He came
in as –
They
bought the Oklahoma house and they bought the one here.
He came in as – I don't know if the right word is savior, but he kind of came in – like, you're supposed to bring us right back. Nothing he said in his original presser. I always bring this up because I think it's fair to say. I was so sold. And, by the way, I think Lincoln Riley still has, obviously a lot of opportunity to have success. Like you and I just both said, I don't think there's a scenario that plays out this year where he loses his job. Now, if they did go 5-7, and next year it follows up with another 5-7 or a 6-6. Maybe that's a much louder conversation. But I get where it's coming from strictly because there are really, really high expectations on Lincoln Riley, and there are really high expectations for USC, whether they're realistic or not. Those are going to be the expectations that come when you pay that much for a coach.
And I think that he's feeling that. I think that he's trying to keep that stuff at arm's length because I want to read this quote to you. He was asked whether or not he feels like SC's playing catch-up with some of the other, blue bloods of college football. Quote, we are playing catch-up. We're playing catch-up in facilities. We're playing catch-up in NIL. We've been playing catch-up in resources within the program. We've been playing catch-up in damn near every way that you can think of. But when we catch up, and we are going to catch up, that's when the things that this place has that others don't shows up again, and it's coming. That is tonally different than I would expect for the head coach at USC after a couple of years. The tone being, hey, listen, we're behind. I don't have what I need yet. You need to give me a little bit more time. At the end of the first year, that wasn't the song. Now, maybe privately it was. Maybe privately it was, hey, listen, I know we had a really good year, and we got a special quarterback, we won a Heisman Trophy, and the Coliseum's full. But, guys, you understand that we still have a ways to go, that this was a little bit earlier than maybe anybody could have reasonably expected this. This takes some time. But SC's got money. The idea that we're behind in NIL, okay, great. I know a lot of very rich USC people that care very much about their football program. I know it's a big deal to them. I understand the facilities need to be upgraded, but with the portal, with NIL, this, hey, give me a little more time song, we'll get there, but I need surprises me. I think it is an attempt to kind of deflect or at least kick the can down the road a certain degree before, hey, you can't judge me quite yet. I still have some things that I need to get into place.
Which one do you think this is? Do you think that message is to the fans, or do you think that message is to the people that can help his situation at USC? Because
both.
That one sounded more to me like, go look at a lot of these other programs that are expected to compete for a national championship. They have resources and they have facilities that represent that better than USC does. So if you guys want that from me, cool, I understand it. I can work on that, but you got to also improve this other stuff that I don't have control over. I wonder how much of that message was right back to the university.
Oh, some for sure. I think it's directed to the university. It's directed to the administration. Like, hey, I'm dealing with something that Alabama isn't losing the facilities game, right? Georgia's not losing the Ohio
Michigan,
State. We're not losing the facilities game.
LSU.
We're not losing the NIL game. We're not. Okay, sure. On that, I'll buy it. The facilities is the one thing that I think is very hard to overcome. That's an objection that is real. The rest of it, though, tradition, access to players, NIL money, and I don't know what their NIL endowment, I don't even know if that's the right word for this, but look, we all live in L.A. Drive around town. Look at what SC owns basically all of L.A. south of where we're sitting right here. Mm-hmm. They've got resources coming out of their ears. This is not something that, hey, we're strapped. It's SC. So some of this stuff, sure, some of this stuff feels like more toward what Emily was mentioning, this, hey, I need more time. I need to get this in place. This isn't quite what I need to have maximum success because the road is getting a little steeper because all of a sudden we're in a new league. We've got some non-conference stuff that it's incredibly daunting. It's a lot all of a sudden.
Hit it. We are on a no-hitter watch.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that, Em. Don't do that.
There is
gotta
something
just
happening.
Wait. You have to wait.
In the Padres game, in the Nationals game.
What? Okay, I might be behind.
Who's pitching? Who is it?
Dylan Cease.
Oh, is it Cease?
Dylan Cease is at the bottom of the ninth. He needs 3 more outs to get a no-hitter.
Yeah.
He's at a 2-2 count for the batter that's up right now, and we'll see what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, Trav, I'll give you a little background on
110
this.
pitches?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, he's getting close to that.
Did he just? Oh my God!
100.
Did you see that? 100 miles an hour on the 110th pitch of the game.
Jesus. Yeah, he's been dealing all game.
Yeah.
Okay, so little backstory on this, and you might know the answer. How many no hitters do you think?
Didn't
do you know
Musgrove get the first one in franchise history not that long ago?
What I was going to say is, how many do the Dodgers have? Do you know?
Dozens.
Okay, 20 something, whatever it is.
It's more than a dozen.
It was just a couple years ago that the Padres got their first one. A couple years ago, they got the first one. It was Musgrove. He was in Texas. And for those who don't know, he's born and raised in San Diego, East County guy, and he gets the first no-hitter in franchise history. That happened a couple years ago. They flirted with it many times. I'm sure many franchises have, but he's the only one that has it.
They're weird events. They really are. A lot of great pitchers. Roger Clemens never threw a no-hitter. Yeah, Roger Clemens pretty damn good. Never threw it. Sandy Koufax threw 5. Okay? Kevin Gross threw a no-hitter. Do you know who Kevin Gross is? Of course not. Ken Merker threw a no-hitter. You know what I mean? Like, they're super random. Sometimes they're the result of being awesome. Koufax, Ryan, guys like that, Verlander. And then there's, Ken Merker threw one. Yeah, okay. Like, they're super random events that aren't necessarily directly correlated to being awesome at this. 2 outs. He's down to his last guy. Who's hitting? I didn't see.
I think it will be...
It's C.J. Abrams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, their leadoff. All-star.
Yeah, all right.
Who the Padres traded, so...
The Padres have traded everybody and then traded everybody again and then got a bunch. They've just been... They going to do something at the deadline, Slee?
You know, it's funny. I read an article, and this was maybe a day or two ago, and it was talking about the crochet from the White Sox, right? And that the Padres...
You got it. He got it. You got it. Fly ball to right field.
All right, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
I'm behind.
Yeah.
I'm behind.
You got it.
I'm literally a full person behind. So I'm still watching, I think, the top of the 8th.
It should be faster there in San
There you
Diego.
go. That's very cool. Yates, did you just come in here to watch the end of the no-no?
You know, so we just got through taping around the horn, and I saw that it was going to happen. And as soon as CJ came up, I was like, he's the all-star.
Yeah.
He's the one who's traded from San Diego.
He hit it pretty good.
It would be him. Yeah, got a good piece of wood on it.
Yeah. That's cool. Those are fun to watch. Unlike the blanking Astros who ducked the A's guy who had a chance at the cycle the other day.
Well, the thing is, one-man no-hitters are just a thing of the past
Guys
these
don't
days.
pitch into the eighth
That's
inning.
what I'm saying. It
much less the
doesn't
ninth
happen.
inning.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Lawrence Butler for the A's had a chance to hit
Zelo.
for the cycle. He had all the hard ones. He had all the extra base hits, homer, triple, double. He needed a single. They were the Astros were behind 8-1 in the eighth inning and still pitched around him. Lame.
Lawrence is the best player on that team. That kid's going to be good
Lame.
going forward. Yeah.
Lame. Give him a shot. You're going to lose.
Right.
The game's over for all intents and purposes, and you got a little something. Go after it.
Okay, this Bush League or no? I remember this was years ago.
Ben
Do you
Davis.
remember what's that?
Ben Davis. Is that where you're going?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I was just gonna say, do you remember Ben Davis?
Yeah.
So
he bunted to break up a no-hitter.
So
okay, but wait, Yates.
Yeah.
1-0 game.
Yeah, that's right. It's different.
Right.
Okay, so that's okay.
Yes,
I think
okay.
so.
Yes.
The guy's trying to
if
get
it's
on.
8-1, or I guess
I
it wouldn't
agree.
Be, that
It
not,
wouldn't
not
be 8-1,
not-
right? Yeah.
But
It
the
wouldn't
game
be
was still in play.
It could be 8-1.
Slee, here's the thing. People lose no-hitters somewhat all the time. It happens. Like, if you look at the history of no-hitters, the percentage of losses that no-hitters have been is much higher than regular people think. It's not tough to lose a no-hitter.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens occasionally, but the score matters. Where you are in the season matters.
I would agree with that as well.
Right? Like the Oakland A's are going nowhere.
That would've been the
the
biggest
Astros
deal.
are. The Astros are in the mix, but it's 8-1 in the eighth inning. Pitch to the guy.
Agreed.
Yeah. If you break up a no-hitter in the fifth inning in a 1-0 game with a drag bunt, that's just playing baseball.
I agree. Totally.
Yeah, but if it's 9-1 at the end of the game,
that park has seen. I want to say Nats Park has seen 4 no-hitters.
How long's it been there?
It's been
20
there,
years?
No, it's not that long. 20, no. It might be around 15 by now.
15?
Yeah, they've seen 3 or 4 no-hitters. One ended the season like 5 years ago.
A combo or
No, it was Jordan Zimmerman threw one.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was a diving stab by Steven Souza on the morning track. He bought him a car as a result to end
And
it.
there was a Max Scherzer one in 2015.
Yeah.
I'm seeing 2 so far, but this might be an outdated article, and obviously this is the third.
Right.
The no-hitter's awesome. Good for Dylan Cease. What's crazy is the 110th pitch out of his arm today was 100 miles an hour.
Ridiculous.
Like you talk about how baseball has changed. You don't get in the a guy throwing people just throw 110 pitches all the time. But they weren't throwing 100 miles an hour in the ninth inning.
Okay, do
It's a
you
weird
guys
sport.
agree with this? And I'm sure you guys are going to agree, but in today's game, it's you're usually taking pitchers out. You're just literally looking at, all right, how many pitches they throw? Is it the third time through the line? Blah, blah, blah. It's a math equation. He came out of the 7th, and you could see they were all huddled up in the dugout, and Mike Schultz there, the pitching coach is there, and there's a couple players kind of hovering around as well. They were making a decision. You want to go back out or you don't? And it looks like they just basically asked him, your call, and they let him go out for the 8th.
If I had to guess, it was do you want to go back out? He said yes, and they said, that's fine. The second you give up a hit, you're gone.
Yeah.
And he probably went, yeah, cool.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Right.
and
that
let's
should be the
ride this.
threshold
Yeah.
in that situation. It shouldn't
Fair.
necessarily be pitch count, especially for a relative veteran like Cease. It's not a Paul Skeens situation.
No.
You know what you've got out of him, and he can do it.
And you know what? We talk about Nationals Park. It's been open since 2008. It has probably 3 or 4 no-hitters, if I have that article right. But also last week they tried to get people to go to the park because they had a Carly Rae Jepsen concert at the end, and that's like the most packed that park had been like all summer.
Listen, Nats Park Summer Concert Tour is a serious
Is it a thing?
moneymaker for that franchise.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
People show up.
Look,
great.
whatever it takes, get people in the ballpark.
I'm mad at that.
No, it's fine. Is this Call Me Maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Carly Rae Jepsen.
One of
This
the
is
great,
person of
one of the
the-
great
Yeah.
videos, pop culture videos of all time. Are you familiar with this, Travis?
I know the song. I am
She
unfamiliar
chases
with
a
the
guy
video.
who's her neighbor the entire video, trying to get his attention. Blah blah blah, and it builds up over the course of the song. And at the end, well, it turns out the guy has a boyfriend.
Oh,
Yep.
well,
Oh,
that
okay.
That's
happens.
funny.
That's
Sometimes
detail.
it's more about the chase.
It's really quite funny. Yeah. Yeah.
It happens. The Rabbit Hole is coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
All right, been telling you guys about it, and I want to welcome in a new partner here to 710 ESPN, Pechanga Resort Casino. I know last time you've been to the property, maybe you've never been there before. Let me help let me help you out here. It's just off the I-15 freeway in Temecula. Beautiful, beautiful area. That's one of the great things about Pechanga. The location is amazing. A lot of great wineries around there. But as far as where to go, let me just help you out here. 1,100 hotel rooms and suites. They got the spa there. They got the Journey, which is their golf course, which Travis talked about, Chris Morales has talked about. Everybody's basically talking about what a beautiful course that is. 20 bars and restaurants and so much more at Pechanga Resort Casino, one of the largest resort casinos in the country. This is such a great time of the year to head out to Pechanga, and I'm going to give you the details, the website of how you can book your stay. Do you really want to go get on a plane, travel a couple of hours, pay for the flight ticket, the headache of taking your family across the country or middle of the country, or wherever the heck you're going? You don't have to do that. You have a world-class facility just an hour away from Los Angeles. Visit Pechanga.com or call 888-PECHANGA to book a reservation for more information. I'm going to be back there in a couple of weeks. Also follow them on Instagram at Pechanga Casino for up-to-the-minute news and info.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. Get the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play.
Download, tap, and bam!
You got 710 ESPN in the palm of your hand.
Did you know that if you're an employer who's hiring, it's going to cost you an average of $4,700 per hire? If you're investing that much money, you want to get it right. That's why you got to check out ZipRecruiter. Over 3.8 million businesses have come to ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs, and so should you. Check this out. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. Right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. John Ireland here for my friends at Beverly Hills Orthodontics, and you can find them at BeverlyHillsOrtho.com. Did you know that one of your most memorable and meaningful features is your smile? Get the confidence you need to make a brilliant first impression with the incredible Dr. Madden and her awesome team. They're the experts in Invisalign braces and the all-new InBrace technology, braces behind your teeth. Check them out now at BeverlyHillsOrtho.com. And remember, whatever happens, you're always smiling with Beverly Hills Orthodontics. That's BeverlyHillsOrtho.com.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the Mid-Morning Spectacular live from LA Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
Stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
There's no earthly way of knowing
He's singing.
which direction we are going.
Nothing can possibly go wrong.
Definitely can't go wrong when we're talking about some rabbit holes. So rabbit holes are whatever has been an internet story that spent way too much time in our brain over the past couple days. So, Al, why don't you start us off?
All right, this one's going to be a little heavy. All right, everybody just relax for a quick second. Okay, so they got this thing, with today's technology and everything else, I got caught in this YouTube video of kids and families, their parents' reaction. So kids that have not been able to hear. And maybe
I've seen these. These are great.
2 years old, 3 years old, 5 years old, whatever it is, whatever their age is. And for the first time, they hear their parents speak to them. Man, it is. It's very, very. It's a cool thing to watch. Some of the toddlers who are, let's say, 7, 8 months, the way they're looking at their mother or their father when they hear them for the first time. Whoa, that thing is heavy, but it's a really, really cool thing to watch. If you're looking for something positive, that certainly will touch you on YouTube, and I know that all the platforms have it. But if you've never seen them before, it's pretty damn special.
It's like a true change in the biochemistry too. Like it's not just kind of like it's not quite the same as black and white to color. It's a little bit more intense than that, because they have those too, where somebody gives a pair of those glasses to a person who's colorblind, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh my God, this is what we've been doing."
It's kind of the opposite of what happens in Little Miss Sunshine, where the guy, again, spoiler alerts for the 2007 movie.
Turn off your radio, Greg.
Yeah, exactly. Turn it off. The boy in the back of the car says he's not going. The brother says, "I'm not going to speak until I'm a pilot." He realizes he's colorblind, and then he just screams an expletive, and that's his first word he said in years. But yes, it's the opposite of that, which is optimistic to see color for the first time.
Greg turned us off after Factor Cap. The moment he was done, he's like, "That's enough of that show."
Jorge, what's your rabbit hole?
So those guys that jump off cliffs with that special suit that is kind of like
squirrel
a
suit.
like a squirrel suit.
Point Break updated was about these dudes. Yeah.
So I was watching that one, and then one of these guys decided to like really go out. Aladdin all the way with it. He does it with a carpet.
Oh my God.
Dog, this guy goes down with a carpet, dude. He's like talking about Aladdin bringing it to reality. I'll send you guys the video of how insane this is, but he does it with a carpet. And he just
I don't
goes,
believe that for
I'll
a second.
send you the video.
Shenanigans.
Well, you don't believe half of the stuff I showed you anyway. So
the shenanigan department.
The carpet was from Home
dog.
Goods.
No, I'll send you guys the videos. But it just interesting.
How do
World Market? No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This guy went full Aladdin. He's like, hey, I'm gonna try it with the carpet. He goes out with the carpet, bro.
Can I make this a little
like
dark for a second?
You think you deserve to go if that's what you? I knew that's where he was going. He's looking at me with that. Yeah, don't need that guy in my program. Have fun in the portal.
I'm not saying I'm rooting for it. I'm saying if it happens, you're not going to get a ton of sympathy out of it.
Not shocked.
Right. Like
why do I know that look on your face?
That's one of those. Hey, did you hear the guy that jumped off the building with the carpet died? Yeah.
What's for lunch?
Yeah.
Like a good place for him to be.
Sure.
I'll send you guys a video. You guys check it out.
Have you guys ever seen those videos of the people that are doing? They put like a magic carpet over like one of the scooters or whatever, so it looks like it's a floating carpet. And
yes, I have seen that.
For like Halloween, and then they dress up like the characters in Aladdin.
That is quite creative.
Yates, what's yours?
So we all know that the Olympics have started, and
some people.
This is moving very far away from the babies getting to hear their mothers and moving into a very different form, which is everybody does know that the highest number of prophylactics that are handed out at any given one point every 4 years at the Olympic Village.
Sure.
So the athletes there, with the era of TikTok, there's two parts about this. Number one, the surfers in Tahiti are all on a boat.
Oh,
They're on a floating Olympic Village.
The Germans are getting after it.
Exactly. But here's what I've noticed as well is that the athletes are having a ton of fun of this. I saw one the other day where it said that she was a female athlete, and she said, "This is me making sure that everybody can see my name on my ID so they know where to look me up on Tinder."
Yep.
I was like, "Oh my goodness."
Let's go.
They're not even holding back. Like it used to be this sort of shadowy secret, but now to be like openly flirting on these apps for people as entertainment is great.
I love it because there's a reason they make the beds out of cardboard, right?
Yes.
They're trying to discourage some of this activity. But
Haters.
here's the thing. People coming from every corner of the world.
Are you kidding me?
Generally speaking, I'm going to generalize here for a second. Young.
Yeah.
Super fit.
Yeah.
Hormones pumping.
Raging, I would go so far as to say.
People you're never going to see again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's probably a good recipe
that's
for
a
all that
recipe
to happen.
for all of this to go down.
I would go so far as to say that there are plenty of people that are motivated to get to the Olympics, period, for the Olympic Village experience as they are to come back with the medal.
Well, here's the other part of this, too, that makes this the number. There are the people that are at the Olympics. I don't know how many athletes are participating in the Olympics, but hundreds, if not more than that.
Yeah.
The people that are competing for medals is the 1% of them.
Slim.
Almost nobody there actually expects to medal. This is the reward is going to the Olympics.
That's the event.
Yeah. And getting there and like, this cardboard bed's not stopping me.
Like I think
I don't give a damn.
You already won.
has a one-track mind that's winning gold medals.
Yes.
I don't know if she's focusing necessarily on this.
Exactly right.
But
maybe
Katie
there's other
Ledecky's
medal
the 1%,
counts in
right?
these places.
Like the cardboard bed.
So I'm looking forward to these developments on my TikTok. I'm following any athlete in the Olympic Village, instant follow for me.
I think that there's a London diver daily. He proved that you have the options of.
Was that the guy that was? I saw something.
Could you tell me that name again? I'm hitting my search bar.
There's a guy. I believe it was the British diving team that funded their Olympic, budget through OnlyFans.
Oh, is that right?
It might have been that.
I think
Is that right? That's genius.
Yes.
So.
He's a well-known gay man,
Yeah.
and he's having a grand old time
Yeah.
showing out what these beds can be used for. Not on OnlyFans. I have not seen that, but he gave an example of things that can be done.
I think we're talking about the same guy.
Good for
I
them.
could be wrong. But,
Good for them.
Yeah. What's yours, Em?
Get the bag. Mine is this complete weirdo. His name is Brandon Miles May. He's on TikTok. And it's funny because I first came across him by people talking about how weird this guy is. They're like, isn't it so weird, the de-aging guy? And they're like, that de-aging guy that's all over your timeline. And then he kind of showed up on my timeline. It's this guy. He says, I'm 35, and this is what I'm doing to de-age. And here's my life. His life is centered around de-aging himself. All his food, all his activities, all his clothes, all his anything, at least on TikTok, is about de-aging himself. He looks pale, pasty, like a little kid. And his meal consisted of, and he talks like this, and he's like, my meal consisted of broccoli, eggs, avocado, and beans because of like inflammation and like other stuff. And it's just like, bro, we know you're lying to us. We know that you're not your age you are, and if you are, that's really freaking weird. Yeah. So either way, it's more like a semi-hate watch that I've been engaged on.
Okay.
But it's been something that I've been a little rabbit hole down. Basically, centering your life on making yourself look younger means that you don't live an actual life.
These guys are weird.
Is it vanity? What is it?
I think it's a combination of vanity and some level of, frankly, just fear of death, where people are always trying to beat something. This is like these guys who say, I don't want to get vulgar. These guys who take all these crazy medications. They're like,
there's another guy who's using his son's blood.
Yeah, right. That guy. That guy's like, oh, my heart's 60,
yeah.
but my organ is 35 or whatever. And you're like, what kind of weird life are you trying to live? Like, bro, you were already that age.
You get older.
You get older. It happens. It's very strange. Very strange.
Yeah, they're pulling a Voldemort or something. Trying to get dragon's blood and unicorn blood all over the place. Just let life happen.
Hot and cold, or excuse me, rabbit hole. We never mind. Rabbit hole. That's what we just finished.
Sorry, I had it on the screen for you. I Rob Burgundy'd you.
You did Ron Burgundy me. That's fine. You go to your local taco spot, truck, whatever your favorite spot is. Number one thing you order. Not their like.
Well, I have a story about my number one breakfast spot that I want to tell you on the other side.
Okay. What do you get at the taco stand?
I get at the taco stand. I typically get carnitas with like onions and
great choice.
Pico.
See,
You and Jorge get along.
As long as you don't get asada, dude, come on.
I know. I mean, asado's fine. It's just
but
it gets
it's
heavy.
Just,
I don't like the heavy.
If there's other options besides asada, I'm gonna go.
You took asada at Disneyland.
I had to because you guys forced me
bullied you into it. Little super crosstalk and the dump coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. Also going to tell you about my pals at Rotolo Chevrolet, right? You thinking about a Silverado? You should be. They're amazing. They're fantastic. Rotolo's got them. All of them, right? Make, model, color, you name it. They got you covered at Rotolo Chevrolet. It's right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit. You can't miss it. You can't miss it, right? It's right there. And that's where Mike Capozio and his entire team of people make sure that you have the customer service experience of your life. To where the point where you'd be like, yeah, it's everything that Trav said it is. No wonder Mike Capozio's dancing on TV all the time. Courteous, transparent, upfront, all the good stuff. You're going to feel good about your purchase at Rotolo Chevrolet. So good that you're going to tell everybody about it. And then they're going to go and they're going to tell everybody. That's how they've won Dealer of the Year 13 years in a row, by taking care of people, by making you feel like you got the best deal in town, because you did, right? So if you've been looking, Rotolo Chevrolet's the spot. ROTOLO, RotoloChevy.com, online. But go on in. Go see for yourself what all the fun's about. Right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit. And when you get there, make sure you tell them that Travis sent you.
Mason and Ireland.
Totally petty, and I love it. Totally 100% petty, and yes, good, I'm glad.
The biggest show on the radio. Next at 1 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
So, Slee.
Really excited to see the new schools come into play at the Coliseum. Obviously, you're going to have Notre Dame to finish the season. That's always a special game. But seeing Nebraska showing up, Penn State showing up, LSU at the Collie, that's what I'm really looking forward to.
I think both programs, the men's football program and the men's basketball program, are moving in the right direction. And the women's basketball program at USC is going to be ranked top 5 next year. So it's a great time for the USC Trojans to be back on ESPN LA.
I'm really curious to see, what does USC football look like without Caleb Williams? What are the adjustments that Lincoln Riley makes? And what is the defense going to look like in the non-Alex Grinch era.
New conference, new quarterback, just really fired up on the football side. New head coach for basketball, so almost like a really new team, which is going to be awesome. And then returning to prominence for USC women's basketball, to be back to where USC women's basketball is. I'm super excited to see Juju in her second year, but just the rest of the players continue to grow under Coach Godley.
This beautiful thing has been up since the first time SC was here. But guess what? USC is back! And once again, this means something for us. Pumped for this season. USC Athletics back on 710 ESPN.
Is the thief of joy. Online therapy helps you focus on what you want, not what others have, because your best life is better than the idea of someone else's. Visit BetterHelp.com/Freddie today to get 10% off your first month.
It's time for everything we haven't gotten to today. Yes, it's time for the dump.
All right, so before we get into the dump items, tell me your breakfast story.
So I go to a breakfast place pretty regularly around the corner from my house. I walk there. It's a nice joint. Old brothers of distinguished reputations like to hang out there, and it's a nice place that's casual, so I go there with some frequency. I probably have ordered what I thought was everything on the menu twice, just going through stuff. Yesterday, some dude walks in who I've never seen there before, and I'm sort of a new regular. I'm one of the younger guys now, so I'm thinking, okay, I got a pretty good lay of the land, know the servers, this, that, and the third. Some dude walks in and orders something I did not know was even available.
Off menu.
Okay. And comes right up. He orders trout, egg whites, and rice and beans. It's 10 in the morning. And I was like, we can order fish at first thing in the morning? He was like, dude, this is what I've been getting for 20 years here. The OG schooled me on it, opened up a whole new world to me, and I was like, so glad, because I stayed a little extra longer that day because I didn't really have anything to do. Man, I'm just saying, sometimes you got to talk to the old guy in the diner because he knows a lot more than you.
I'm trying to think, the only fish I've had in the morning is like lox on a bagel.
Sure, but a breakfast fish is a thing. Like if you're Southern, this is a thing people do. And so it's not complete. The point was, off-menu breakfast items in places that you've attended a lot.
Quite frankly, Slee, anytime you can order off-menu, it does feel like you're kind of on the inside.
Exactly.
It does feel like, I know something you don't know. Let me flex on that a little bit.
He couldn't believe how excited I was about it. It made my day.
This might have been a rabbit hole thing as well. There was, I'm not going to give any of the details of it because it's happened and it is what it is. But a lot of people are going on TikTok. And they were going on some of these different platforms, and they were basically saying, hey, you can order this as a secret menu item from this place and that place. They don't exist. And then you had these other fast food places that had to come out publicly and like, hey, stop asking for these items. They literally don't exist at our place.
This, like diners, like you're talking about, Yates, is one, but In-N-Out is the genesis of the secret menu, right?
Yeah.
Because they actually did have things that they did not tell you, but they had like chilies and pickles that did not go on their regular burgers, but
tikka masala.
We got it. But it's McDonald's does not have a secret menu. You can get a quarter pounder with cheese or a Big Mac. Those are your choices.
I felt like I got the official handshake. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so now I'm a real member of the Black Man Diner Club.
All right, so you're a good person to ask for this too.
Sure.
the college football playoff is expanding. Obviously, this year is the first year, and they're going to use a regular or at least a quasi-regular rotation of some of these bowl games to do the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals. They're going to kind of the rota, so to speak. The Rose Bowl is saying we don't want to be a part of it. Just give us a quarterfinal every year because we're not moving off of January 1st.
That's fair.
That we're not doing it. And that works for me because I'm a Southern Californian. I am a Rose Bowl loyalist. I love the Rose Bowl. I don't know if that's me being a Southern Californian and this is a special event to me, or does the Rose Bowl have the gravitas, the weight to say, we play on January 1st at 2 o'clock. You guys can either take it or leave it, pound sand.
This is, in my opinion, the only play for the Rose Bowl. If you get out of any time slot that gets you away from sundown in Pasadena
right?
with the Rose Bowl in the background, you've made a mistake, both on the college football side and the Rose Bowl side. That has to happen. Not just the day, the time slot as well, Slee.
Trev, let me get a little more detail on this. Are they now not going to be in the rotation for a college football final?
Yeah, they under this format, they would never host the final unless they did another one after, because there's a precedent for that, by the way, too.
Yeah, that's happened before.
They've done that when the BCS was the operating system for the bowl system.
Sure.
They would have the Rose Bowl, which was the champion of the Big Ten and the Pac-12, and then they would have the BCS championship game later, like a week or 10 days after that. But they would still play it, to your point, Clinton, at 2 o'clock, so you get the
you have to have that.
I want them to play on January 1st. That's fine. But it's also a mistake if they end up losing opportunities to host a national championship or even the semifinal where there's only 2 teams left or only 4 teams left.
I don't think they care.
The swap meet is
okay, I know they don't care.
Yeah.
But don't you think you also want, rather than that quarterfinal, January 1st, don't you also want that beautiful setting, the 2 o'clock, the mountains in the background at the Rose Bowl? Don't you also want that for a national championship?
If the choice is just have a quarterfinal every year, or occasionally you've got to move it a little bit, I would keep it at the quarter.
Yeah, Slee, they play the national championship at like 8 p.m. Eastern on a Monday. Like, I don't think you're getting the same deal out of that visually.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. National championship. I want as many eyes on the Rose Bowl as possible. It's obviously one of the more historic, over 100 years old. I don't want to lose it on January 1st, but I also want it for the bigger games.
Bill Belichick was offered the D.C. job in San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan reached out and said, hey, I'm probably not interested in this, but would you like to, I've got, and he said, respectfully, no. Is there a scenario that exists where he never coaches again? I know he wants to, but think about what happened last year.
In the pros?
Yes. Take the Patriots off of the table. Obviously, wasn't going to go there. Patriots aside, there were 7 openings in the NFL. He had 1 real look from Atlanta, and they chose Raheem Morris.
Oh,
that's the other 7 teams went not interested and kept it moving. Is there a world that exists where the league has just moved on from him and he's not in the mix anymore?
I think so. I think the situation which I see Belichick coming back is not exactly Navy, but like if he just goes to some side school, you know what I'm saying, and says, guess what? Belichick's in town. I'm rebuilding your program. Pray at this altar, and I will bring you in. I don't know.
He wants to break Don Shula's record. He's got. I think he's got to win 14 more. I think
14 more.
14 more. So that's 2 seasons.
I don't think he's ever going to be an NFL head coach again.
I think it's a possibility.
And part of it is his longevity's been incredible. He's 68 years old.
I
maybe.
think he's older than
is
that.
He?
I think he's in his 70s.
Is he in his 70s?
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, you're not necessarily going to him and saying, "Let's rebuild something," right?
Right.
Because he's not necessarily going to see the benefits down the line if you start a rebuild somewhere.
And he's not coming in to collaborate either.
No, it's my way or the highway. That's why, can you imagine Kyle Shanahan and Bill Belichick talking about defense there? And Kyle would get no say. Bill would be running that.
I also
Question
feel
would
like,
be too, if they have Vrabel, let me use him as an example. Do you want, if you're picking between those 2 guys, don't you want the guy that's 20 years younger or whatever it is to build your franchise? But I still think I wouldn't be shocked if there's a team within the next year. If he goes this entire year and then the next cycle he again does not have a head coaching job, then I think it's done. But I wouldn't be shocked if he still gets another opportunity.
I think my favorite thing about this whole thing is that, so the 49ers, they're like, okay, let's offer Bill Belichick the job. He could be our next DC. And no, he said, no, okay, get me Brandon Staley.
It's a bit of a left turn.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with Staley. I like that.
Okay, you're putting me in a position that I hate to be in. Now I have to defend Brandon Staley.
You're going to defend Brandon Staley?
As a defensive coordinator, he was fine.
He was fine. That's true.
He was totally
Aaron
fine
Donald
as a
and Jalen
DC.
Ramsey.
Yeah.
Okay, but he didn't drive the bus off the cliff with Jalen Ramsey.
Right.
He has Bosa. He
What's
has
weird
Fred
about
Warner.
him, though,
He
his
has the
background,
defense.
is offense.
Yeah.
His background was offense going into that gig.
His background is not in
He was a
leadership.
quarterback, right? He was a college football
Deshaun
quarterback.
Foster feel like
So I think my thing with Belichick is, and not dissimilar to what we were talking about in the Olympic Village, Mace, by the way, Olympic Village veteran.
Oh, yeah.
Belichick's got better things to do. Have you seen what he's up to lately?
Yeah.
This guy doesn't need to be in the film room for the rest of his day.
He's got the
My
27-year-old
man has
girlfriend.
The motor is still running, brother.
He's
All
got
right?
the
Just saying.
TV gig.
Just saying.
I think he's actually going to fall in love with TV. It's going to give him just
You know
enough
what?
football.
I'll throw one thing on top of that, too.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be really good at it.
I do, too.
Yeah.
I do, too.
I think he's like, I think Tom Brady's going to be terrible
Not looking
at
forward
TV.
to
A lot of those, like Bill Belichick, as a television personality, is actually pretty engaging. Saban, as a television personality, really engaging.
Correct.
I think both those guys are going to knock it out of the park, despite their the way that we've perceived them over the years.
So I think they had their foot on the brake. They have personalities that they're unwilling to share.
People who know them.
I don't think Tom Brady has that. I think Tom Brady has whatever deal he made with the universe to become Tom Brady was like, cool, but we're going to take whatever humanity is in there. We're taking it.
Right.
He's an empty slate to me. He just fits.
But isn't that good to start out with as an empty slate?
No, because whatever comes out, I feel like is going to be manufactured.
Although, didn't you get a little vibe from him from the roast and the goofing and all that? I got a little vibe from him.
Like
he's got,
what do you mean got a vibe?
He rolled
Showed
with
a
the
little
punches.
personality.
He showed some personality.
Okay.
He laughed a little bit. We saw him loosen up a little bit.
He scheduled his laughter. He went, ha 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 ha.
It felt like
he read
was,
that.
No, he had practice. Yeah, he had practice, laugh
felt
practice.
Very performative to me.
So you don't think he's going to be a good analyst?
Yeah, that's what I was like. Is a vibe
don't.
just he actually had a personality, or did you have a personal connection? We got smoking stoves in the back. Like, what happened?
No, I'm just thinking. I'm not used to seeing Brady laugh and
If you told me, do you want to go have beers and smoke a cigar with Tom Brady, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like I think that would be
It's a tough
interesting
sell for me.
because if it's private and quiet, but he's so curated with what he presents to the world, I don't think we're going to get.
I'm
going
to
to
be. I by the way, I think it's 50-50 whether it's great or it's terrible.
Yeah, I'm there.
And it's probably somewhere in the middle.
It's going to have a lot to do with who he's partnered with. I would
He's
say
doing it with Burkhardt,
with
isn't
Kevin Burkhardt.
Is
yeah.
he? Oh, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize
Because
it was
they
established.
bumped
My bad.
Greg
Greg
Olson
Olson got demoted
to the
Okay.
B, and
Well,
Greg
I guess
Olson.
what I mean is the pairing is going to be as important as how Tom's specific performance.
Olson is great.
He's
I
the
think
best.
so.
Really
I
good. As far as I'm
love
concerned.
Olson. Got
Yeah.
bumped to
Olson
number
was
2.
really good.
Yeah.
Jorge, you know what we should do? Super crosstalk. Bonk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Woo. Ireland in the house. John, you there?
Yes, sir. What's up?
All right. There you go. I have a question for the two of you guys, and I kind of want to put them together because you both have areas of expertise that are going to kind of get me to where I want to go. John, you are a distinguished play-by-play man, longtime voice of the Los Angeles Lakers. Mace, you have worked in the Olympics many, many times.
Yep, 7 Olympics.
How do I go about becoming the voice of women's handball in the Olympics?
Just raise your hand.
I think
that's all it takes.
So it was
because I don't think there's a voice for them now.
Well, it was on TV today.
Of women's handball?
I don't know, and this is why I need the two. John, I need you to teach me how to learn a sport that I've never ever seen before. Mace, you have the connection.
Well, I did it. I
did
did it in sliding sports at the Olympics one year, and you basically learn the entire thing from the ground up. And there's no manual. There's no like, oh, this is how you say this, and that's how you. No, you're just making it up as you go. You're inventing the language. And
Really?
So, yeah. So handball. Now you would watch some handball.
I was watching it this morning. It was oddly
Did you
compelling.
try doing play-by-play?
I'll do it tomorrow. I'm sure there's another match
I want to hear some
tomorrow.
handball play-by-play.
John, any pointers?
I don't know
what I would give you pointers in. I don't know women's handball.
It's closest.
But you know
it's
play-by-play.
closest to hockey.
It looks like a hybrid between hockey, lacrosse, gymnastics, basketball, water polo, and
Why
swimming.
is this the sport you've settled on?
Because it was on TV this morning.
It just was on TV.
okay.
Had it been ping pong, he would be the voice of ping pong right now.
But ping pong feels to me like I could.
He hits it.
I
He
could
hits it back. He
I could
hits it
deploy
back.
some tennis analysis.
Right. Sure.
Handball, I got nothing.
Yeah, I bet you Dave Denholm could do handball.
Oh, yeah.
Our LAFC guy. He could do handball for sure.
No little. Okay, you got to make sure you got this, Trav. Nothing, John?
Nothing. No, I have nothing. I don't know anything about women's handball. Zero.
Team USA did win in women's soccer. Beat
it is
3-0.
currently playing.
Well, it's 3-0, right?
Zambia,
It's
yeah,
over,
they're up
yeah.
3-0.
Did a U.S. men's team lose?
They did lose to France. I
Yeah,
believe.
to
Let me-
France, right. Yeah, so we're already 0-1
So
in soccer.
just raise my hand.
That's it.
Do you have a number that I can call?
Yeah, no, call. Seriously. There is. If you devoted yourself to one sport, I think you could be the guy. Like, there was a minute there where I could have said, I'm going to throw it all away. I'm going to be the sliding sports guy.
But you would work once every 4 years.
It's true. It's true. Although, if you ever watch that NBC Olympics or the NBC Sports Channel, it's got like nonstop Olympic sports all year long. So they've got the Handball World Championships and then the Handball Gold Cup and then all that. But you could make a living doing that.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Handball guy. Handball guy.
You're going to be known as that, too. Like, everybody's going to that's Trav, right? The handball guy.
Can you imagine? And you'll be a rock star when you walk into a handball venue. They'll be like, oh, that's the voice of handball.
And for 2 weeks a year, I could pop on radio shows and break it down.
There you go. Exactly.
How's Idaho, John?
Excellent. It's a little stormy today, but
did you golf this morning?
I did not. No, we've got a bunch of Manhattan Beach people descending on this place at 5:00 tonight, so we've been in prep mode.
Oh, you are hosting?
Yeah.
What's for dinner?
We're going to a restaurant for dinner tonight. We're having a shrimp boil here tomorrow night. We're going to the other side of the lake Saturday night, and everybody goes home Sunday.
Oh, are they staying with you?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So there's going to be 10 of us here.
How many bedrooms does that thing have?
5.
Five bedrooms?
5 in a bonus room. So somebody's going in the bonus room.
How many bathrooms?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow. 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms.
Yeah, it's pretty
What's
big.
the lot square footage,
what
and
is
is it
the
on
square
Redfin?
footage?
I
Yeah.
have no idea.
What's the lot size?
Lisa did all
I'm a
the
real
work.
estate guy.
Is this a couples descending on your place, or
Yeah.
is this your buddies?
No, when everybody gets here, 5 guys, 5 girls. My friends were in last weekend.
Okay.
Right. Is it a bunch of Lisa's nutty tennis friends?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds
They,
fun.
Yeah.
All of the nutty tennis friends were in 2 weeks ago. There were 14 girls here 2 weeks ago.
Ireland says you could do a reality show about Lisa and her friends, and it would be a big hit.
And you wouldn't even have to write scripts, Trav. You just show up and film, and you're done.
So these shows typically have like archetypes of characters, right?
Yes.
They all kind of fit. Where does Lisa fit in? Which archetype does she qualify for?
She'd be the one that about 20 minutes in would be shaking her head saying, why the hell am I doing this?
Right. She would be one of the smart ones. Like, she would be the one like Bethany Frankel who invented something that makes a lot of money. Skinny Girl Margarita. Like, that would be Lisa.
Okay.
Yeah.
But who would the villain be?
Yeah.
Like, who would the nutty villain be who has too many drinks?
There are many candidates.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Sounds like a big weekend at the Ireland estate.
Yeah, but those girls aren't coming in this weekend. The people coming in this weekend are all fun.
Oh, I want to know when the crazy people come.
They were
I
here
like
2
the,
weeks
I like
ago,
the
but they'll be
name.
back.
I like the name Lisa and Friends. I think that could work.
Lisa Ireland is a good
Lisa
reality name.
No, Lisa wanted to call the show Tennis Bitches, but her friends didn't like it.
No, I think that's a great name for a show. Who does not tune in for tennis bitches?
I'll put it to you this way: if it were on the queue on Netflix, I'm hitting the button.
Heck
If
Car Chase Channel. It
tennis
can't lose.
bitches, I
Right.
got to see what that
Hey,
is.
let's stop saying that word, please.
All right.
Oh,
I didn't get a
what?
chance to say
Emily.
it just one
Yeah,
time.
Slee
Tennis
I'm
didn't
just
get to
saying
say
Yeah,
it.
we're
Yeah,
good.
don't say
When
it,
in
Slee.
reference to
We've
a
got it
woman.
covered.
If it's
We
her idea.
covered that. Yeah, it was Lisa's idea. I can't control.
We didn't.
No, I was just
It's her
repeating
IP.
it.
It's her IP.
I didn't say it first. I said it second. You said it third. No, you said it second. I said it third.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
so you guys take the fall before me.
When you go to the taco place,
Yeah.
we did our draft, our Thursday draft. You get one thing. You haven't had it in a while. What's the one thing you're going for?
Al pastor.
I got that in my. That was my second pick.
That is absolutely when we all went to Glasnow. Before a Dodger game. That's when I was introduced to Al Pastor. Fantastic, delicious.
John, there's a taco truck in Coeur d'Alene that I went to. That's like in the parking lot of a gas station. Have you ever hit that place?
No, but there's a place called Taco Loco here that is a hole-in-the-wall joint, and I was there 2 nights ago. It's great. A taco's al carbone, which is kind of like steak tacos and with a bunch of spices on them, and it was really good.
What's the difference between that and a carne asada taco?
I don't know.
Okay. Where's Jorge?
Where's Jorge?
Here.
We need a drink. What does al carbone mean?
I don't.
What's the go-to drink when you guys go?
Oh yeah, tequila. I kept waiting for a drink.
Yeah, beer or something.
Well, we had Mexican Coke came off the list.
I heard horchata,
and I like the Jarritos.
Right, and
which
then
is a little sweet,
Jorge had one that was like a
hibiscus agua fresca. Yeah.
All right, tacos al carbone is a Spanish phrase that translates to over charcoal. It refers to a traditional Mexican dish of grilled meat or vegetables served in a tortilla with toppings. The cooking process gives the food a distinct flavor and grill marks and can be applied to any meat or vegetable. Beef is the most common in the United States.
Well, it sounds delicious.
It's grilled
steak.
Yeah,
steak.
Sure. Throw it in a tortilla.
Sign me up. Yeah.
The Rose Bowl doesn't want to be in the college football rotation.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday.
Oh, did you talk about it?
So weird.
We were doing this yesterday.
I think I kind of like it where it is.
I do not.
Why?
Why would you not want as many eyes as you possibly can have on one of the really cool college football venues in America in a really high leverage game?
I'm with you on that, but the game's going to start way later than the Rose Bowl typically does. You're not going to get those visuals that you get when the Rose Bowl starts at 2:00 in the afternoon. They're not playing the national championship game at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Right.
You're going to play it at best probably 5:30 local time. Sun's down. It's dark.
Yeah. By the way, Trav is, because he's been to every Rose Bowl since,
and this is what we're
1950.
Yeah, it's my favorite venue in LA.
Yeah.
It's I love everything about it. But what makes it so cool is the Rose Bowl is played on January 1st at 2:00 in the afternoon, and that's why you get those visuals. Is because the sun is going down. If you play it later in the year, if you play it in the middle of the night on the East Coast, you don't get any of those visuals.
So old-fashioned. It's got to be at 2:00 on New Year's Day, and we're going to have a parade beforehand, and
the
it's
Rose
a
Bowl
tournament,
feels the same
and the
way.
Rose Queen's going to be there. It's like, come on.
I went to high school with the Rose Queen.
Oh, did you?
2 of them, as a matter
really?
of fact. Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
They taught me the wave. It's elbow, elbow, wrist, wrist, wrist. Did you know that?
Have you ever used it?
I do. I use it every time I go to see the Rose Queen come out to the 50-yard line.
Every time I see Trav in the parking garage, he throws that at me.
Do you guys know what Tai Chi is?
It's that slow-moving
Ireland
karate.
did not know what Tai Chi was.
It's like
yesterday.
slow karate.
Now,
right?
Did you Google it, Ireland? Do you know what Tai Chi is?
I saw it in a movie.
Yeah, it's like this kind of thing.
Kind of a meditation kind of thing.
My mom and nut stepdad Leo are doing it. Ireland's like, I don't know what Tai Chi is. It's like super slow karate where you don't hit anybody.
Right, and you breathe a lot.
They should call it that.
Super slow
Super
karate.
slow karate.
It's more descriptive. I mean, Tai Chi maybe means super slow karate.
It translates.
Clayton Kershaw got the first guy of the game out.
Oh, right. We're early
good.
today. I forgot. It's Kershaw Day.
I got to put that on.
Yeah. Yep. He's out there.
Now, not exactly the best pitch to get somebody. Trav, fastball, 87 miles per hour, right down the
No, was it a fastball?
87.
Well, when he pitched at OKC the other day, that was 91.
That was 91. He should be 91 to 93. That feels right for a fastball at this point.
When he pitched at OKC the other day, the first inning or two, I think he was in the low 90s. And by the time he got in the fourth inning, he was in the mid, not even the high, but the mid, like 85, 86.
Mid 85, yeah. I don't think he's going to throw more than 3-4 innings today.
Hopefully.
It's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
That ball was hit real hard.
What if he wants to stay in to get the win and you're Dave Roberts? Do you still pull him in the fourth?
I think even Clayton Kershaw is smart enough to know that the win now means much less than keeping your arm healthy for the long run. He's ramping things up, and it's going to take a little while for him to ramp fully up.
They're going to need, between him, Miller, and Buehler, one of those guys needs to be really good by the time they're heading into the postseason. And right now, today, I don't think you can really count on any of them.
Buehler is pitching. He's back from Florida. He's pitching for OKC on Friday, tomorrow night. So he's gonna start.
Smoked again, too.
Okay.
This was the thing we were talking about, Al.
It's very early.
Yeah,
very early.
Right.
We'll keep you up to date.
Super Crosstalk's brought to you by In-N-Out. In-N-Out, that's what a hamburger's
going to settle down.
You better hope so. That's what a hamburger's all about.